Good Lord, it's Monday. And Monday got all of us sitting back going, it's hot outside. It's hot outside. And it's raining. The devil gonna beat his wife or beating his wife because not only is it hot outside, but the sun out. Ain't that what that's supposed to be meaning? That when the sun out and it's raining, that the devil is beating his wife. Help us, Jesus. A lot to talk about. Because we got a lot of stuff that we need to be going over. Let me go ahead and open up the telephone lines. 504-582-9422. What's one of the biggest things that everybody's talking about today in the news? Everybody's talking about these issues that seem to be going on in L.A. We're seeing the National Guard being deployed, 2,000 National Guard troops. We're seeing L.A. Police Department. We're seeing the Sheriff's Office. Because these folks are mad, upset that they have decided that they were going to take the authorities and round up all of them bad people. Y'all heard me say it. Bad people that are supposedly killers, gang members, and whatever in L.A. and deport them. Get them up out of here. We don't care if you're U.S. citizens or not. You're illegal. Get them out of here. And they got all of them out there talking about you're violating our rights. Yady, 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 yady. You're going to send me back to somewhere where I don't even know. So I had a lot of my friends out in L.A. call me up and say, you see this mess going on? Like, mm-hmm. You going to talk about it? Mm-hmm. Well, what you going to say? I said, listen, Monday, you'll find out. And then I gave him a little snippet. Well, what you gonna say, G? All right, y'all ready for what I got to say about it? Y'all ready? May not like it, but I'm gonna say it. Black people, sit down and be quiet. What? Black people, sit down and be quiet. I can't believe you said that. They violating the people's rights in 3088. He's sending the National Guard to go get them. Mm-hmm. Black people. Just in case y'all didn't hear me, y'all had to turn your radio up a little bit. Let me say it again. Sit down and be quiet. And no, I am not trying to repeat nobody's Kendrick Lamar. Sit down and be quiet.
Be humble.
I'm gonna be saying that all day. We need to know what you feel. Sit down and be quiet. You bet not. Is that one word or two word? Bet not. B-E-T-N-O-T. That's one word?
Bet not.
Bet not. Not better not. Bet not. Go out there. Talking about some protesting. Because they looking for you to come out and help. You bet not. I don't care if you're blackity black. High yellows. Passe blanc. cream colored, medium complexion. If you have been classified as an African American black person, Negroid, and a couple other words that I can't say on the radio, you bet not go out there, sit down, and be quiet. This ain't your fight. It could have been your fight. But we've been telling them people, do not vote for this Negro because he coming for y'all, and y'all didn't believe us. Oh, you thought they were coming after us? No. We here. We got our own issues. We've been asking y'all for help too. Y'all was like, nope. Y'all don't like to be around it. Now y'all will move around us. Y'all will have your house around us because you know how to profit. You open up your own little corner stores and get that monies that's coming in for immigrants and go out and do all the things that you want to do. But you think that we lazy. Okay. But we've been fighting for 400 years, and we ain't had your help. So you bet not. You bet not. You bet not. Coleman, what you say, cousin?
Hey, cuz, how you doing?
What's going on with you?
Well, I'll claim everything's everything,
No, well,
but
that's a good thing.
look, we have a discussion, not an argument.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say give up your rights to protest, regardless of the nationality. We need to learn to support each other's cause. This is what white folks have beat us out on. They get together on each other's cause and show unilateral support. Yes, I agree. A lot of them did not come out and march with us, but in certain issues that did come up, they did come out and protest our issues.
I'm not talking about white people.
So I'll say yes, protest.
Mm-mm.
Because we need to show unilateral support. We need to be a neighbor to each other. The word is good neighbor to each other.
Mm.
And it's abuse of power. Trump had an issue with the Florida governor. It didn't just start. He been had the issue. So I'm supporting. I'm sorry. I say Florida. I mean California.
Say what the Florida governor
California
got to do. That's
governor.
DeSantis. You talking
so
about
I'm
California?
Supporting his position that he did not request any help from the federal government dealing with the.
He overstepped his bounds. That's number one. Number two, that's probably going to be his opposition for whoever's running for president next time, because it can't be him. So if J.D. Vance is going to run, he getting ready to see Newsom be his campaign running against him, because he's going to run for president. Watch. The other thing that I would say, this ain't got nothing to do with white people. This got everything to do with the Latino people that voted him in, that did not think that he was going to get rid of them. And he said everything that he said he was going to do, he's doing now. They just didn't think that he'd do it like he's doing it and bring out the National Guard. 2,000 of them. We haven't called in a local National Guard to round people up and do anything of this sort and use the National Guard under a presidential order, executive order, since what, the riots of Edmund Pettus Bridge, when they had to try to control that. When was that, in the 50s, 60s?
Yeah.
That's the last time we had to do anything of that sort, by using some type of executive order from a president. And he's going to do that and override the governor of the state. Now, I think that white people knew what they're going to do. They loving it. But it was the immigrants. And don't forget, we are a country of immigrants. You can't get rid of all of us. He's trying to get rid of all of us. So you still think that we should be supporting that? I don't think that we should be protesting. Black people, we have been telling them. We tried to tell them. We told them where they were going to be headed. We've been trying to tell them from the legislative branch to the NAAC, put the ACLU to the ABCDEFG. And they ain't listen. And they voted him in. So guess what? You get what you voted for. They thought it was going to be us under scrutiny.
but you also missing. They're taking them from jobs that supports. Let's just say us. There's no replacement of them at the moment for the jobs that's being taken as they are being. I'm gonna use the word detained. I'm gonna use that word, detained. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with you on that, but we're just gonna have a nice disagreement then. How about that?
Yeah, but look, are you gonna do the work that they're doing right now? No.
As a free man, no. But understand something. We are under a state of law and order control. So if I can put you in jail, and I can have my jails filled up with all these different nationality of folks, including black folks, because we're the number one jailed. So incarcerated men are going to end up back on those chain gangs out there doing that work for cents on the dollar. So I can put some money on my books just so I can get the condiments that I need. It's coming. It's a whole bigger picture than what we're talking about, but I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Let's wait around to the midterm elections and see how things are going to swing to the other side.
Right. If we see it. And
I'm of the opinion Trump will not last the full term. I think he's gonna self-destruct within the 2 years of his
somebody gonna try to take him out again.
Well, I'm gonna just leave it at the destruction part, because he's having these little mini meltdowns, and he's gonna have a major one, and everybody's gonna see he is not presidential material.
Right.
Vance not either, but
we'll see.
Trump will be gone.
We'll see. All right, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, cuz.
Take care, cuz.
Talk to you later. All right, more coming up. Dr. Shepard's in the building. We'll talk to her in just a minute, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
The National World War II Museum, located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans. The National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to keeping and finding great teachers for our students in Orleans Parish. If you or someone you know is interested in becoming a teacher for the 25-26 school year, let us help you. We've created the New Orleans Teacher Job Board, which is the official job platform of public schools in New Orleans. You can apply to any school in the city. Simply post your resume and provide information about yourself. Visit our website to learn more and apply. www.neworleansteacherjobboard.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Let my people go. Let my people sit down. Sit down. Be quiet.
No.
Shh. I'm gonna give me a T-shirt, and on that T-shirt is gonna say one thing and one thing only.
What?
I bet you the sellout of the day.
What?
Shh.
The saying is,
Shh.
we who believe in freedom cannot rest. Cannot rest. So no, we supposed to be out there doing exactly what it is that we supposed to be doing, which is helping people and giving masses and numbers. That's what it's supposed to be about.
Be quiet.
I don't agree.
Shh.
I don't agree, G. I can't believe you would say that.
Don't make me use the shh and put another a couple other letters.
You can do that, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Shh.
Why do you say that we need to be quiet and not do anything?
This don't have nothing to do with us. This got everything to do with
Yes,
them.
it does. There's black people who ICE can deport. That has a lot to do with us. All of our Caribbean brethren that are black that can be deported by ICE,
Sit
that
down.
has to do with us.
Be quiet.
For what? What would that do? You need to come out in overwhelming numbers so that they understand we not about to have this, so that they have to reroute their plans. If there's only a few of them, then it makes it to where they can be easily controlled and manipulated. They need the streets full of people. Come out in massive numbers.
All right, you want to take some telephone calls?
We can do that. Let's take a call.
Let's take Jason. Jason.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, man. What's going on with you?
Doing well.
I'm doing great. And I totally agree with G. Sit down, leave it alone.
Be quiet.
At the end of the day, we voted. This man told you exactly what he was going to do.
And they still put him in.
Allegedly, supposedly. Allegedly,
No,
supposedly.
that is not allegedly.
That is
supposedly.
allegedly,
Not
supposedly.
until somebody tell me that the numbers were rigged.
They're
Now, I know
in
they
court about it right
I know they
now.
got a piece of the
Trump
New York.
told you the numbers was rigged.
A piece,
Trump said.
a piece in New York.
Right.
Now, the point is, and I'm going to say, even if they prove it, until they correct it, it is what it is.
I understand that, but I'm just saying the idea that, they overwhelmingly voted for Trump, that may not be true. And we know that may not be true by Trump's own words. He said he only received the vote because Elon Musk is good with numbers. Additionally, we know California didn't vote in massive numbers for Trump. So this is not that population. They are sending the National Guard out to an area that they know is a Democratic base.
Let me tell you something. And Jason, hear me out on this. This ain't got nothing to do with ICE going out and getting the people that are what's that? MS-13, MI-13 or whatever they
Right, MS-13 or gang related.
Because if they were, why ain't they go to South Central?
No, it's not about that.
No, it's not about. It don't have nothing to do.
They were arresting workers on the site, had the whole job site
if that's who you
in cuffs.
If that's who you said you were going after, why did y'all go to South Central LA? That's where all the gangbangers at. That's where all the Crips at.
They don't want to do that.
Not if they want to go back and see their families afterwards.
Exactly.
Because them boys ain't got nothing to lose and they gangs for real. So you telling me that though? So okay, they went into a Democratic city.
Yeah.
A Democratic state.
Yeah.
And unzipped their pants and said, "Look at here.
Uh-huh.
I'm comparing Mine bigger than yours.
Yeah, but they getting it bit off a little bit too. In their comparison, yes, they are. Those people are fighting back.
They're fighting back, but that's what they want. Chaos.
They got it. But I was watching one of the initial people who he was there witnessing them go ahead and, go in and arrest people and seize people, how they were being treated. And he said they didn't even get out to protest. The police started throwing tear gas, and that's what kicked it off. So when they say it's a manufactured crisis, it is, but it's manufactured in the sense that that's what those raids were designed to do.
So you think that we should be out there and all protesting?
I think that there should be massive force displayed. I don't think that we should be telling black folks not to get involved because black people are also targets of ICE, because whatever surveillance it is that you use on Latino immigrants is also going to be used on black folk, because we're inside of communities with them, and because we have black-brown solidarity. I mean, I got Mexican friends, you know what I mean? So, like,
hola.
Come on now. So I just feel like, no, we shouldn't be. And then, I mean, it goes so much deeper because, I'm a critic of colonialism. Like, that's Mexico. That's Mexico. The Mexicans have the saying, we didn't cross the border crossed us.
All right, wait a minute, Jason.
Yeah.
You still with me?
I'm here, man. I never knew they had a black and brown solidarity.
There is.
Thank you, bro.
I never know. Like, my neighbor, Spanish guy, real nice. He asked me, and I told him the truth. I say, at the end of the day, I feel like the Spanish community think they're going to get the same gift that the Irish and the Italian community got back in the day when they was drafted into the white community. And it's not going to happen because of the color of your skin. This guy was in office once before, and he locked up children and separated families, and you still went and voted for the same man. What more has to happen for you to see this?
If they voted for him.
Even for the Caribbeans, this is not my fight. That's the Caribbeans. I'm African American. If you come in the right way, the legal way, it is what it is, but it's not my fight. Especially when the black community have been telling people over and over again what's going to happen.
Because I don't understand. I'm sorry. I just don't understand.
Jason.
It's not my fight. I'm going to sit back to the side.
I don't understand how it's not our fight when they're deploying the National Guard. Like, the way that you're thinking about yourself as a very small, nuanced, segmented population, the police don't even think about themselves like that, because there's LAPD, there's National Guard, there's ICE, there's Border Patrol. Like, they're all coming together. You see what I'm saying? They're all coming together so that they could wind up enacting the same types of violence throughout all of them. So why is it that we would segment ourselves off as though it has nothing to do with us when it has everything to do with us? The same tactics that they'll use there is the same ones that they learned from Black Lives Matter, that they will use the next time that somebody's son get killed out in the streets. They are adapting their technologies in the ways that they are patrolling that area. And they are going to use those same methods on whatever the next black protest is. I don't understand why we would sit out as opposed to joining in to be able to fight tyranny whenever it shows itself, because we know we always become the victim. There's never a way that the military-industrial complex doesn't segment us
because we're
and say,
always
you know what,
under
that's
that. We always
that's
under
the
that.
point.
And
We always
and
under
we
that.
never have them with us. Never.
That's not true.
Have
Black
they
Lives
ever
Matter showed
joined
that
us?
that's not
They
true.
I never seen Caribbeans and Spanish people at a march or anything.
Black Lives
when did
Matter
they
shows
join us?
that's not true. Black Lives Matter shows that that's not true.
I would love
Everybody
to
was
see
out
it.
there. When George Floyd got killed, everybody was out
That's
there.
only because
That's not true.
The only reason everybody was out there for George Floyd was because everybody was at home and seeing.
But they was there.
They were seeing this.
They were there.
You saw what he did as the president in his last, when he was 45, and I'm thinking that everybody's going to be able to see what the hell he's going to do again. And the Latino population went out there, mostly Latino men, went out there and voted for him. He told you-
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly.
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 No,
It's
we
not-
have to say allegedly
don't.
when we
No,
know
we
Trump
don't.
said.
No, it don't matter what he said or what nobody else said. You know why?
And there's a case open about it.
Don't mean nothing.
It does mean something. They may have rigged the election.
You listen to what you just said.
Right.
What you just said.
They may have rigged the election.
May.
Exactly.
So it don't matter. Guess what? They're going to come back and say the same thing. Well, what it is, and you're going to keep on going. We've seen a whole bunch of stuff.
I've seen the
What's changed?
The activists who are bringing up the case, and when they start breaking down their case, they show it's statistically impossible
And
the
what
way that
changed?
the votes went.
But what changed?
What do you mean?
What changed? Nothing. If I show you the statistics and what's a possibility, what changed? That ain't the law. The law has sworn this man in as the president of the United States, and he's still the president of the United States.
It's taking
even
it up
after
through the courts.
insurrection.
Right. It's taking it up through the courts, though.
Okay, and who's in charge of the courts?
It just depends because the courts right now are blocking a whole bunch of what it is that he's trying to pass.
And it's going to what?
What do you mean?
It's going to the Supreme Court.
Not in all instances, though.
And guess what? The Supreme Court going to be on this side. And he keeps thanking them. Thank you. He even thanked the Supreme Court for being on the side
I recall.
at the State of the Union.
I recall. I just don't think that we should be talking about it like, no, they all voted for him when we know, according to Musk, according to Elon Musk, according to Trump, and according to this lawsuit, all three say that those people may not have voted for him.
And we're talking about a small section of New York, right?
No, the lawsuits are talking about a small section of New York. But the thing is that's the place where they are.
And if I'm a Republican,
raising this.
But if I'm a Republican, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put in some type of legislation that we can not change the vote. We playing checkers, they playing chess. I'm just saying, watch.
I hear what it is that you're saying. I still think that what I'm saying still has validity, which is we can't treat the vote as though they all just voted like it was 7 million people who voted for him. We can't say that because we know, according to him, Musk, and this lawsuit, that there was tampering with the votes.
No. Hear me out. I'm not against you on that.
I'm just saying.
Watch what happens. I want to get back on topic.
Agreed.
I'm still saying, sit your ass down.
I'm still saying
Get your
that
ass up.
even if you say that those people voted that way, we know that California is a Democratic base, so those people didn't vote that way. Even if you say the Latinos put him in, those Latinos are not the ones who would have put him in because they vote majority Democrat. That is a Democratic base. But that's what I'm saying. So we can't be like, oh, they voted him in. Those people didn't vote him in.
Okay, so let me go after this then. If they're telling me that they're all illegals, they can't vote no way.
They're not all illegals. Every protester who shows up on the street isn't an illegal immigrant.
No, I'm telling you the people that they're arrested, that they're going after.
All of those people may not be illegal immigrants because of due process. They said that right now their tactic is to just arrest Latino people, and then they'll decipher through it because they have to make their numbers. And there was
3,000 a day.
There was something put out that said that at first, I don't know if it's the person who's over ICE because I didn't catch the name, but one of the officials was thinking, well, we just supposed to be getting criminals. And the head of ICE came out and said, no, we're not just getting criminals. We need to go ahead and make the captures so we can make our quota. And then after that, after we make our quota, then we'll see. You said 3,000 people a day. So they're just causing terror. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the kind of thing that we all have a responsibility to fight back against. That is the American, allegedly, way to do it, is to not allow tyranny to come up on citizens.
All right, let's take some more calls. T-Bone. T-Bone?
Hey, y'all.
What's happening?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I agree with y'all in portions, both of y'all. And here's why. No, wait.
You're giving us the tiebreaker.
Hear me out. Hear me out. And G knows my point of view from the get go. I have a number of friends and family who are not of this country. One friend, I had a beer by his house. When everything was hot and heavy during this election, Biden was still in, all that stuff. He explained to me why Latinos will not vote for a Democratic president.
And what was the reason?
Because in Latinos' minds, the ones that are here, they equate the Democrats with communists. Communists as in Castro and his brother and others in those foreign countries. That is one of the major reasons why Latinos will never vote for Democrats. Now, I thought he was smoking something at the time when he said that. I was like, there's no way Latinos going to vote for Trump. Trump then came out with everything in his arsenal about immigration. He's telling you from the get-go he's going to do mass deportations. Didn't believe him. Saw Comedy Central, and John Leguizamo called himself doing a sketch with Latino voters. After he was done with the sketch, and he presented all kinds of points of view that shows you what Trump was planning to do with Latinos, he said, now raise your hand, would you still vote for Trump? He revealed himself. He put himself in disguise to start the skit, but he presented all of those political points of view as fact. At the end of the skit, he revealed who he was and said, well, I actually like your skits and this, that, and that. He asked them, now, raise your hands, which one of you are still going to go vote for Trump? 12 Latinos, all of them raised their hand that they still were going to vote for Trump. FAFO is where they're at now. Now, Doctor, to your point, I understand why you're saying what you're saying, that blacks should not be putting their hands under their seat with this because we are next.
Right.
He is going to sit up there and insist if you're an African American, you're not not American, you are of African descent and you belong to a S-hole country and we are going to deport you as well. I get what you're saying with that. But here's the thing. If a line isn't drawn by the Latino community first, it will continue. This will continue. And that's what's really happening in California. There are enough Latinos and other residents of California upset enough for these riots to take place. That's why it's taking place, because he knows what the base is there. He never liked California. He's been ragging for Newsom for years. Mm-hmm. Yes. That's why he's doing this. You don't see him rolling up into Texas. Why? Because Abbott is his boy. Abbott's on his side. Abbott's trying to help with the border wall and all that stuff. You don't hear him doing it in New Mexico, do you? You don't hear him doing it nowhere else west but California. And I'm going to tell you what else going to happen. And this might be bad to say. People are going to have to die before this thing changes course. That's what had to happen during the civil rights movement in full view of this nation.
Okay.
It had to see the ugliness that was brought about before this country changed course.
All right. All right,
all right, y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Real talk.
Yep.
All right.
You heard he was on my side.
Not really. I ain't him on your side. That's all. I got Pop coming up, and I got Cedric coming up. They're going to be on my side.
That's fine. He who believes in freedom cannot rest. That y'all not about to put me down just because y'all ganging up on me.
You going to gang up on hands up on the wall, girl. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Hoops, Heat, The Truth, on demand. Ball Don't Lie is now live on all podcast platforms. Tap in, search WBOK Media, find Ball Don't Lie, and bring the fire with you wherever you go. Download, share, and leave that 5-star review, because the game doesn't stop when the show ends.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Oh, you got that fight face on today.
I know, because I'm ready to stand up for what's right. Yes, sir.
Getting kind of heated.
I know. That's all right. That's all right.
I can take it.
Look, she can go down, too. She got that long hair.
Hey, I'm not in it. I'm
Thank you. He's on my side.
I'm neutral. I'm neutral.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like the Swiss. Uh-huh. He's on my side.
He ain't on your side.
The Freedom Flotilla. Okay.
Flotilla. Forilla. No, man. Cedric.
Hello. Hey, Dr. Shepard. Hey, Gerard.
What's going on?
Hey, Shay. How you doing?
I agree with you, Doc. Why would we
hold on? I'm hanging the phone up.
Why would we sit on the side and not do anything when we know that if we're not next, we're probably number 3?
Come on.
Something wrong with the phone. Hello?
Nuh-uh. You heard what he said. He said he agrees with me.
Why? We know this man is trying to get rid of, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
Come on.
And according to the Associated Press, about an hour ago, the Pentagon has authorized 700 Marines to be deployed to California.
Yep.
Wow.
So my concern is this. Everybody's talking about the midterm elections. Again, what is the Democratic Party at the federal, state, and local level? What are they doing to deploy to make sure people are interested in voting for the midterm elections? And also on Doc's side, how in the world can you have a majority Democratic turnout for the senator election, Congress, but yet no votes for the Democratic presidential candidate?
Exactly.
There's something very fishy. You know what? This is our problem as I close. We keep sitting down. And because we keep sitting down, there's so much lack. The Democratic Party, look at what they did, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, when she tried to get in that Senate over the weekend. Who is standing up to them in the Democratic Party? They almost broke that 81-year-old woman's fingers.
Yeah.
Slamming the door
on her.
She is a member of Congress. Why are Democratic members of Congress being denied access, and why are they taking it? And we need to be joining them folk because we're next. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Shed. They who believe in freedom cannot rest. Why will we sit out when we know we the next ones up, and whatever tactics that they use now will be used on us later? I feel like it's just a testing ground. And so we got to be able to show them what's up. Give those people more people to support and be out there to stand the ground. Do not allow tyranny to win. Do not allow it to win.
Pop Jones. I ain't going to say nothing. Pop. Where you at? We missed him. All right.
He hung up. Because he didn't want to go against you.
Here, call back.
Pop didn't want to get in that ish.
He gonna call back. He gonna call back. It's Elmo.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, Doctor. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Look, I like young lady Miss Shepherd because she always rouses me up when she says a lot of things. I really appreciate it. And you say a lot of things that a lot of, please forgive me, some black men don't have the balls to say. Please forgive me for saying it like that. But you have not only you have a lot of thought, but I mean, you're a very activist young lady, you know?
Yes, thank you. G wants you to go against me so bad right now.
But no, this is what I really want to talk. This is the thing. I'm going by my experience. I go by what I know. I don't go by what people tell me or people think. I go by what I experience. I understand the movement, 73 years old. Understand the movement I played in the military. I've never seen, sister, brother, no Muslims. Listen to me good and well. No Muslims, no Hispanics, no indigenous, no Jews.
There was all black
no
and red.
Asian Americans that spoke up. Listen to me, that spoke up in the movement for us. I never seen a large amount of them. And the bottom line is Hispanics overwhelmingly. Let's talk. Let's talk. Hispanics overwhelmingly, black men, Muslims, Asian Americans. Don't talk about the Vietnamese because that could get me started with that being a Vietnam vet.
Have you seen the
overwhelmingly voted for
of
Trump?
Palestinian folks standing out there
Let's make it very clear. You're talking to someone that understands the movement. I appreciate you, sister, because if it wasn't for you sisters, you're the one overwhelmingly, the only group, Hispanic, white, black, you name it, Christian, Jew, Muslim, that voted overwhelmingly for
a black
woman. For Ms. Harris. So I thank you, sister, for that. Maybe brothers like myself, among the other brothers listening, will follow y'all lead. But thank you for, excuse me, I'm kind of like I'm venting. Gerard knew me quite well. Most cases, I'm very calm and collective. But to be honest with you, I'm kind of angry about the whole thing.
So what side you taking?
Mine. Because he's angry about it.
You know I'm gonna take Miss Shepherd's side.
Come on
and
now.
I'm gonna take your side too.
Oh, you just bucked out.
I mean, look, why shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Give me an argument why I shouldn't take Miss
but
Shepherd's
you
side.
You just made an argument about both sides.
I think
appreciate
that
with the sister side, but you also said in the same I guess explanation that you've never seen any of those other nationalities.
I don't agree.
I don't agree. Never did.
I don't agree only because one, Black Lives Matter shows otherwise. I keep on pointing to that because everybody remembers seeing all types of people in the streets. So that's the first one. The second thing that I would say is from me being a researcher and having gone through Black studies, I know about Black-brown movements, Black-red movements, Black what else did you say? Black-yellow movements that have taken place. So I don't think that. I think that we need to see more of that. That what we actually need is unity. We need more white folks to get out inside the streets. You see what I'm saying? They're doing so many people wrong. If you're not a white man, a white straight man right now, you should be out in the streets because they're coming after everybody. They're coming after gays. They're coming after women. They're coming after the Muslims. They're coming after the Latinos, and they're coming after us. So if we know that, then there's strength in numbers in our common struggle. But the idea of separation, like, G, you said even Black separation. The brother called earlier and was like, I'm not Black, I'm African American. Like, that's such a narrow way of thinking when we're all about to be on a chopping block. And they are refining the struggle that they're going to use against us on these people right now.
Well, Ms. Shepard, I appreciate you because it's always good when you have conversations. Sometimes, and I want you to understand how I think, how I speak. You're right. I don't really mean that no other ethnic group supported us, but overwhelmingly what I've seen. Right. I think if I agree with you, we need more other minorities to support the struggles because the struggles that we have is for everybody because everybody took the lead. It's amazing how people all over the world take the lead after Afro Americans on the struggles that we had to go through just to get what we felt was fair for us to receive. Even in Poland, if you remember, Poland got their independence scene. We shall overcome it. Showing the Black Madonna. Remember?
Right.
So we have to be a little. I hate to say this. I'm gonna. Before you say be a leader, look at yourself. I got to stop scratching where I don't itch. And hey, look, man, be more aggressive to help my people a lot more than what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't think. Sometimes you can pat yourself in the back and they say, "No, Elmo, my name is Elmo." Sometimes you may not have done enough. So I appreciate this, sister. Excuse my tone of voice because I'm kind of angry about the whole thing. Now that I love y'all to death. Gerard know our calls all the time. But today I'm kind of riled up about it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for calling.
All right, Mr. Elmo. Thank you, brother.
Take care.
Even though
Thank
you,
you, brother.
down
Thank
on
you,
me, I
Mr.
appreciate you. All right, James.
Come on, James. Let's keep my streak going. Let's go.
She ain't got no streak. Got a streak and a half.
This is James, man. And Gerard, you tripping. I'm gonna say why you tripping, G. You're tripping because it's strength in numbers. That's one. Then two, if this thing was stolen, hijacked, or who scoured, then you absolutely everybody has a right. Because then that mean that vote was stolen for everybody that did vote, stolen from us. Even the ones that did not participate because they felt as though there was no choice for them in this hunt. The choice was made for them. And that means that's a stolen vote as well. So at this point, I'm like one of the brothers. I think Brother Coleman said it. I'm gonna stand up and watch who gonna fight first before I jump out there and get in the melee and then I get stole from behind. I done been there before. Everybody has been there before. We smart enough to watch out for who fighting for who and what they're fighting for. You dig? So in closing, I'm gonna say while I hear a lot of the brothers and sisters that say that they gonna sit this one out, ain't black folk business, it is your business. It is your business. It is your business. It is your business. Because if once the whipping boy is gone, who's next?
Yep.
I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Thank you.
Goodbye, James.
I appreciate you, James. Thank you for calling in. Such a crucial call.
I'm taking James's black card.
No, you're not. He could double down. Okay.
He ain't double down.
He could double down.
James, you let me down, bro.
Also, I feel disempowered. You took my bell.
Yes, I did. You got anything else over there?
It's heat in there. I'm telling you.
I'm going to pull up the sound of a bell on my cell phone.
I'm taking a bell. If you had a clapper, I'd take your clap.
You going to take it too?
Take it too.
I'm disempowered. But she who believes in freedom cannot rest.
She who believes in freedom should be looking like you. Not me sitting up there talking about something. Look, I got no. Because I needed them to stand up when this election happened. If all of the Latino population would have stood up when this election happened, we wouldn't probably be in the situation that we're in now. You cannot say that the culture of the Latino population when it comes to men do not believe that a woman should be in that much of a powerful position. We already know this. And if I had to decide through choosing a woman and a man, and if that was the case, then to me, I mean, that's just as worse. That you put a man in there that has no inkling of what he's supposed to be doing, and looking at you to get votes, but not supporting you because you're here trying to make a better life for your family. Come on. And you believe that? You believe that story?
Maybe. if we take them at the word that they said for the votes, I don't believe inside of the voting numbers. But what I'll also say,
come closer.
No,
I need to feel your feel your head. You got a fever?
I do not.
You do not?
I do not.
I just thought you.
It's not Trump derangement syndrome.
I thought you did. I was getting ready to say, "Come here, Elon. Come here."
Yeah, I hear that, but it's not as though they voted as a block. Okay, just some of them voted. Some of them voted for Trump, and some of them did not vote for Trump. And what we know about the targeted population, the place that we are actually talking about, is that they did not. California Latinos did not vote majorly for Trump. We know this.
All right, we'll have this conversation in just a minute, y'all. We got to do news. We'll come back. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. For the first time in a decade, an American has won the French Open women's title. Coco Gauff, who was black, rallied to victory in 3 sets, becoming the first U.S. winner since Serena Williams in 2015. She tells NBC it still feels surreal.
Feels great. I always wanted to win this title. I won the junior one, and I just felt like this was one that was just really meant to be.
It's her second Grand Slam singles title following her 2023 U.S. Open win. Black Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is slamming President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to L.A., calling it an abuse of power. He says it's not about law and order, but a move to intimidate dissent. And President Trump's proclamation banning travel from 12 countries citing security risk is now in effect. The move fully restricts entry of nationals from 12 countries, including Iran, Haiti, Somalia, and Sudan. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Why are you frowning?
I'm not frowning. I'm looking at come on, G. I do numbers. If you tell me 120,000 Latinos voted in California for Trump.
No.
Say that again.
No. 120,000 voted for Kamala.
That was 55%.
That's 55%.
Right.
But the increase was for Trump. Because 43% of them went and voted for Trump.
Okay, but if 120,000 people is 55%, we talking about 100,000 people voting for Donald Trump. So she still wind up winning.
We're talking about an increase from him voting, being in the last election.
2000 and...
What was it, 18, 17, whatever that was. But he went from 35% to 43%.
That's an increase of 7%.
You act like that's not a number.
No, I'm not saying it like it's not a number. What I'm saying is that they didn't. It's not like 83% of Latinos voted for Trump.
Okay, but
they already had.
But your comparison is not where she is compared to, and I'm talking about Kamala Harris. I'm talking about if you looked at when Biden ran.
Right.
Biden didn't have 55%. He had 63%.
Okay, but that is bad because the amount of people, if you look at the voting statistics across all of the different types of people, let's just say, across all of those factors, then you'll find that Trump gained ground amongst everybody inside this last election. Black people, black men, black women, the youth, young people, white people, everybody voted more.
I cannot put everybody in the same bag. I'm talking about one particular demographic.
What I'm saying is that if he started to get more support in all demographics, then saying that about Latino people really doesn't matter because he got more popularity across all demographics.
Okay, so how did you grow that demographic?
Because Biden wound up dropping out too late. They snuck in Kamala Harris without having an open primary. They put her in without having a well-established platform. Okay, Trump had the alleged assassination attempt. So these are all things that now looking back, everybody says, well, dang, this helped him to be able to get more people than what he previously had. And we know that a large percentage of people sat out and didn't even vote. Okay? So we can't just act as though, well, Latinos, y'all voted for this. It's like, no, everybody. They did. What I'm trying to say is that California voted majorly for Kamala Harris. And your statistics showed that. And any increase has been experienced across all demographics. It is not a Latino-specific thing.
It's an increase for Trump through the Latino population.
What I'm saying is that there has been an increase for Trump across all populations. And the Latino population is just one of everybody else. It's almost like even black people voted majorly for Kamala Harris, but there was still an increase in black men and I think just black men that wound up voting for Trump. So you can't just be like, black people did it just because there was a slight increase.
Sit down.
That's not the same.
Sit down.
It's not the same. Across all demographics, people voted more for Trump, allegedly, supposedly, if we believe the election results, which Trump, Musk, and this lawsuit says we should not.
Ty.
Hey.
What's happening?
So, I'm actually with you on this one, G.
Thank you.
Put your fist down.
I got my fist up.
Put your fist down.
I got my fist up.
No, give me back my bell.
Hold on, say it again, Ty.
No, don't say it again, Ty. Somebody take the bell.
I got the bell. Say it again, Ty. Say what?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, G. Let me say this. Dr. Shepard, I truly understand, your statistics, your numbers and everything. My issue is this, okay? We're always out there, stomping the ground and we're doing this and we're doing that and trying to, be all inclusive, as we usually are. But the violence ramps up when? Meaning physical violence and all that, it ramps up when? When we get involved. We're the ones that's always the target of the worst of it. And furthermore, in a sense of how many of the Latinos put themselves out there, I'm for Trump, and I experience it here in New Orleans often. You know what I'm saying? The rudeness from them, I don't have it in me. And I am one of those people that would go out and protest or whatever, but I don't have it in me because I feel like, we did it. We've been doing it. Y'all have it. Do what y'all do. Hopefully it works out for you. If it don't, it is what it is. All I want for my people to do is to make sure that y'all are stocking up, make sure that y'all getting y'all things together, stacking those pantries or whatnot, and just sit back and grab your popcorn.
I agree with being disaster prepared. I agree with that. I agree with being disaster prepared at all times. But I do not agree that we need to sit out because we become the target of any state violence that they enact on somebody else.
I just have to disagree with you on something else.
Okay, go ahead.
Why you had that look on your face?
Because I'm ready.
But the reason why I'm a disagreeing, I thought somebody else would say it, is you keep saying we're gonna become. We already are. We have.
No. I hear that, but I mean at a heightened degree.
You don't think?
No, because like the last caller said, they can always decide to do away with birthright citizenship, which is what it was that they were trying to do. And if they do that, that was started for us after the Civil War. That was specifically designated to give citizenship to freedmen. And they're talking about taking it off the table. So if they wind up revoking our citizenship, which they have under question right now, and it doesn't really matter what the law is because they're showing us they'll do things that are unconstitutional. What I'm saying is if they take away our citizenship, then what we see them doing to all of these other populations, we'll receive that. There is a such thing as an uptick. And so we shouldn't get comfortable and thinking, well, we've always been the victims of this. Like, no, but you can be the victim of the Palantir. I mean, they talking about right now putting facial recognition inside of New Orleans and using that and actively using that. And we're supposed to be a sanctuary city, but when we get those types of things, then it winds up going to ICE. And so then we will all be in a database with Palantir, with ICE, with our faces, and all it takes is for somebody to say, G and Dr. Shepard was on the radio talking things that are against the nation.
Isn't facial recognition already here, though?
It already is here, but there's supposed to be limits around the way that they can use it. And right now, and for a long time, they denied that it was here. And it misidentifies us more than anybody else. And so, no, we shouldn't sit back and allow the state to ramp up on any urban group of people because it winds up harming us. We cannot get so complacent to think that we have it bad. It can always get worse, and that's what other communities are seeing.
Well,
it can
let me say
always
this,
get
and
worse.
I'm not saying that. I truly agree that it could absolutely get worse. I think that for me, especially being here, because we, the black population here, I agree with you on that end as far as birthright citizenship, that they are, going to ramp it up because even the highest court in the land at this point is not really doing much to quell all of this at all. It's like they're just sitting back and letting this happen. And, it makes you wonder. I feel like we're in a dystopian era right now.
We are.
That, we're looking at all of these things happening. It's like, are you serious? Like, this is really what's going on? But, at some point, let me say this. What's going on in California with they have it, they got it, talking about the Latinos or whatever, and I agree, there's power in numbers. Look at the Watts riots and what happened there. But I feel like when it comes to New Orleans, and if we, all of us are getting together talking about how black people to get up and stand up and protest, okay, I can say that, but I'm not protesting for somebody, for ICE not to come and get somebody. In that sense, Mexicans, Latinos, I'm just not.
I don't know if there are some people out there who are protesting about particular people and families, but the idea is that even if you're going to have deportations, this is not the way to handle it, where you have masked men who are unidentified snatching people off the streets. And in a case earlier this week in New York, they had a man who attempted to do that to a woman so that he could rape her. So there are protocols and processes to deportations, and that is what it is that they have to go to. You want to deport everybody? Okay, then you're going to have to ramp up your judges. You're going to have to ramp up your processes. You're going to have to ramp up how people move through due process. You should not just be allowed to snatch people and move off the streets. I'm going to just say this because it came to my mind. They just had a story that came through where they have a bunch of illegal immigrants and ICE inside of a steel container of where they went and they tried to deport people out without the proper paperwork and protocols. They deported the people, and whatever country it was that they were supposed to be going to, they couldn't enter. So they moved the people. They're in a shipping container in Djibouti right now. The illegal immigrants and ICE they were ICE workers, but they're now all inside of a shipping container. Now, that is because of not having due process and not having a clear set of protocols. So even if you were one of those black people who said, no, they should be deported, okay, deportation comes with a process and due process and protocols.
And in a humane way.
Not just human body snatching and human trafficking using the military and all of these masked people who allege to be part of the military.
They're great men.
Say that again, or private contractors.
Yeah, that's great men. That's what they call them, great men.
Well, did y'all see that the National Guard is actually sleeping on the floor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but that's just how they are right now. They're gonna move them. So
it'll be somebody's private contract.
He didn't provide the funding for them.
Nope.
It'll be somebody's private contract. Somebody will get the contract to do it for so many millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. This is gonna take decades to undo what's been done, and it's really sad.
Yep,
it's really sad.
All right, my honey. Thank you much.
Thank you, Ty.
Right, have a good one.
We take that vote.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're one to my like 15.
Ain't no one
who called.
What?
What? What? Do you question the results of my poll from my vote?
I'm trying to get gangster on.
You're going to have to take that up in the courts, G.
Miss Jones.
Yes, good afternoon to everybody.
How you
Good
doing?
afternoon, Miss Jones.
And so, you got to remember after President Biden won and Trump reigned everywhere, didn't do the concession, and he was messing with the border then, allowing people to come in. He was sabotaging from Jump Street with his rage. And as far as the Latin Americans and all those from South America, they already come from areas that's everything but what we have here in the United States. They're familiar with communism, and then they want to come here for better life, so they say. Didn't somebody translate from Spanish to English to let them know what was happening? And another point, I'm from the time of World War II, baby, and what we learned in history. And they said they would take over this country. You're going to destroy within. And that is what is happening. We focusing on everything except that man in Russia that Trump is so endeared with. Not paying attention. He's known for deceiving. That's all he's been doing is deceiving. And I think the election was really taken. Technology can do a lot of things.
Okay.
Our people, for people in general, like the lady who called previously, we better prepare. I remember one time, I think it was Dr. Umar Johnson was on. This was about 10 years ago. And he was talking about passports. Getting passports, they're good for 10 years.
So, Miss Jones, what side you on?
She's on my side.
She ain't on your side.
No. I hadn't caught all because I had just come in, so I don't know too much of what your side is, Doc.
So,
okay, well, G says that black people should sit down, and I said black people should fight tyranny.
I said
which
black
side
people
are you on?
This does not have a black people problem. This is not our problem. This is a group of folks that voted for the same person that is now sending.
Some voted.
Most of them.
Not most. Not even majority.
Hello.
Some.
Let me finish.
Let the record
calm
show.
down. That there was a plenty of them, a plethora of them that voted for their own demise. And I'm like, this ain't got nothing to do with us. We tried to tell you. Black people told you. And he told you what he was going to do. Now, you are subject to the consequences of his rule.
And people shouldn't be shocked. He told you what
So
he was
why are
going to
black
do.
people out there, let my people go? No, we told you what he's going to do. This ain't our fight. We're not going to El Salvador.
Yet, maybe. Depending on birthright citizenship. He's trying to get the prisons. He's trying to get the prisons to bring people to El Salvador.
What I'm trying to tell you right now is that he told those folks, this is what's going to happen. They were like, Trump. No, you voted for your own demise.
They sure did.
So,
anybody, and I could tell
I'm
they
trying to
did
tell the
because-
black people out here right now, this ain't your fight.
He's talking about 100,000 people, and Trump won by 7 million people. And what I said
You keep using
is
that
more.
statistic. Look at that.
I'm giving you the actual
they
money.
Shot her.
Exactly.
Did
So
you
white
see this?
people should
You
be
saw
out
that?
in the streets.
They
Yes.
just shot the reporter.
I saw they shot the reporter. White people should be out in the streets
White
too.
people are just in a state of shock. So busy. Some of them who are so busy with the racial discrimination that's been in the past and still is, they need to forget about that. They are in a state of shock. They're too scared to admit it, and they just don't know which way to turn. And I don't understand our people, really. I don't understand. But the Latinos, I mean, they're coming from a lot of places, Colombia and all those places. That's not that is socialism and communism, and so they're familiar with that hard living, but yet they still come here for a better life. Well, how are you going to want to come here for a better life and you're supporting somebody who's doing probably worse than what you come from your country?
All right.
Something's wrong with that picture. Now, somebody probably didn't translate to them the English the correct thing. And you could tell by their attitudes, their facial expression. At one time, they would have you'd run into a strange person, they'd smile, but now they look at you as though, well, I got it going. You and I are going to be the one. I'm going to push you out. But they're in a state of shock. Well, and I don't know if they're still really in a state of shock. They're still thinking, wishing he's going to do this. I think what he did was told them, well, I'm saying I'm going to deport you, but I'm not going to really do that. I'm
just trying to figure out, though, Ms. Jones,
lies with everything. If something's the truth, he's going to lie. If it's a lie, he's going to tell the truth on something. He's going to make it a lie.
Get out there and fight
not a truthful person.
Because it's coming to your doorstep.
It's been at my doorstep.
The intensification. But again, we have to make sure that we are in good understanding that we have not seen it completely ramp up against black people in the way that they wanted to. There is a whole nother frontier to the war that they want to put black people under that we have the ability to stop now. He just signed an executive order saying that the military can be used against citizens and to keep and to back and it's against the Constitution. So what do you think that's for?
That is not just law called posse comitatus, which is against the law.
What I'm saying is that is not just for the Latinos. That is for we who march. That is for we who protest. So they're telling us the ways that you all are used to fighting, we're going to allow that to get worse.
So you're trying to tell me that I need to get out here and fight for immigrants that are more than likely illegals that are not supposed to be here.
Thanks to Trump, because like I say, when Biden
they're not all illegals.
Election, Trump was messing around at the border, letting them come in. Jump Street.
What you're fighting for is not for illegals. What you're fighting for is against the dehuman raids that ICE is doing.
Exactly.
Ms.
We
Jones,
know all about it.
Let me
I have to go now.
Let me get into my break. I got to get into my break. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
You're welcome.
All right. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Media mogul Byron Allen is ready to sell his big portfolio of TV stations. He has about $1 billion invested in TV, with stations broadcasting in 21 different markets. Bloomberg TV host Romaine Bostick knows Allen and spoke about why he initially got into the TV business to begin with back in the 90s.
He hit upon this idea that you can kind of create really low-cost content, and you can get the local stations to pick it up for next to nothing, with the caveat that they would air this at like midnight or 2 a.m., and then he would get the ad revenue. He took this idea from his kitchen table and built this into $1 billion business. His net worth now, based on Bloomberg estimates, $700 to $800 million.
Allen bought niche content outlets like the Weather Channel on the premise it was cheap to produce but could rake in money. The fact that he's selling shows that this business model is treading water in a media landscape flooded with platforms and content today. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
New Orleans, are you ready for a voice that says what you're thinking? Who that, you might ask? Arrington Gavin. That's right, I'm your guy, host of the Arrington Gavin Show, giving you so much filled with bold opinions, real conversations, and zero sugarcoating. We're going to be diving into the issues that matter, politics, pop culture, and all the above, unfiltered and unafraid. Catch the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Fridays right here on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
NOLA Public Schools is excited for the rest of this 24-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the Whole Water Stove, Pastor David Impartan Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
You was trying to get me to say something bad as we was coming in from off a break.
All right, folks, welcome back. You seriously don't like
The delay ain't working. So.
You know,
huh?
It ain't working, the delay button.
It ain't working?
No.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Let's take some of these calls. A lot of folks been holding on. George!
Man, it's about time. It's about time.
Thank you, George. Now, George.
Hey, he celebrated his little birthday last week, and they think he's important.
All right. Happy birthday. He is important.
Wrong George. Wrong George.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to grease the wheel, Gerard. Don't be trying to grease the wheel.
Yeah, happy birthday there, old man.
My birthday was in February, man.
Was it? Yeah, somebody told me your birthday was last week.
Bro, they lied, bro.
Uh-oh. Well, happy belated birthday.
Happy belated
birthday. Want to send me some belated presents, I'll take any gifts, though.
Zero.
I ain't above a little larceny.
What you got, though?
Hold on, I'm listening to Dr. Shepard. Go on, Dr. Shepard, you're about to make a point.
I don't need you to daggone what you got. Make your point.
George, this is very important.
Make your point, George.
Whose side are you on?
Listening.
Huh?
Dr. Shepard was about to make a position. I want to hear a position.
Bruh, the position she has been making has been on since 4 o'clock this afternoon. So my point to you is, if you call in, what's your point?
I deserve to hear her position again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The people want to hear my position.
To her position again. What's your point?
The people want to hear my position. Okay, so George, my position is that he's disempowering me over here at the station. He just took my bell. My position is
get back her bell.
What's her position? Go ahead.
Okay, my position is that with the protests that are occurring right now, we should not sit out. Now, I say that because we are watching tyranny right now before our very eyes. And it's important to demonstrate in massive numbers and to come out to show that we are not about to take these abuses in our communities. Now, G thinks that this is like segmented off into this is just the Latino struggle. And what I'm saying is that the same metrics that they use to harm Latino people are the same ones then that we see come into our community full circle, so that the same forms of state violence that they're practicing right now in these protests are going to come to our communities. The same ways that they're considering or that they're working on deporting those people, they have already called into question our birthright citizenship, and they are looking for ways to be able to undo it so they can possibly deport us. The same ways that they are at the protests with the facial recognition and surveillance and finding out who people are and entering them into a database is the same types of systems that we're going to be up against. So I do not believe that we should ever think that we should not be included in a struggle against tyranny, that we should come out, because it always winds up back on our front door. And because we're watching things ramp up, we should make sure that we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We show up and support. Now, G thinks something else. Whose side are you on?
No. I get a chance to tell you what my side is. My side is everything that Dr. Shepard has just said, I agree with. But I have to make a decision, and my decision is all the things that she just said about tyranny and all the rest of it, it never left us. We've always been under the microscope. We've always been left. We've always been a part of DEI. We've always been a part of the less, having the less. We make money, we find a way, or somebody finds a way to destroy the way that we make money so that we'll be in poverty. We're the most incarcerated. We have to see in a COVID situation, one of our own with a foot on his neck to get people up to get out and protest. We signed all these daggone bills, the George Floyd bill and all these other issues to change the way that policing has happened, and we still see black men being killed today. I'm saying that the tyranny that we're talking about, that the Latino population is now experiencing, has never left us. What the Latino people are doing is learning what we've been going through. Welcome to the god doggone game.
And what I'm saying is all of that's true, and it can get worse. So I don't think that we've seen the full extent. I don't think we've seen the full extent, and I think right now we need to draw a line in the sand. Okay. What you say, George? Okay. How you feel about it?
Now, here is where the NAD integration of both of these conversations resonate to me. Right? Whew. We are what percentage of America?
13%.
On a good day?
Mm-hmm.
On a good day? And we have been the subject of all this hatred and you could just say deportation in the prison, right? Deportation, go to prison. For us, go to prison is the deportation.
Yeah, but it could also be actual deportation. That doesn't that used to be off the table. Right now, they just put that back on the table. They're questioning your citizenship and seeing if there's a way to undo birthright citizenship.
And we know that's coming because they're trying to slowly but surely undo your right to vote.
Right.
So the alarm bell, and the way I say the integration of both of these facts of issue of facts that are current is now they're deporting somebody else who they say don't belong here. But our deportation process has always been the prison system.
Right.
Because once you're in the prison system, you are no longer a legal, viable citizen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You are a slave.
You are under servitude.
And that's what the Constitution says about you. So the point I'm trying to get across is, Dr. Shepard, I 100% agree with you because we do never have the position of wait and see. We never, ever have the position to wait and see if it's going to get worse. It's already
you agree
worse.
with me. You're not agreeing with Dr. Shepard.
G. With every point that you make, worse for us is already a fact.
It's already a fact.
Yeah, but he said we can't stand by.
It's not a question. It's not a question.
It's not standing by. This is not standing by.
You little Latino men.
Whoa, George, whoa. Let me correct something.
It's not an issue of them.
This is not standing by. This is, we have been out here on the street saying that my rights have been violated. I have been in a situation where all this stuff has happened, and I've been looking for the other folks to come stand with me, and they have not. For 400 years.
They have. Okay. I keep saying Black Lives Matter showed you that they did.
One issue that has been actually defunct.
But that is when people were protesting in the streets, and we've seen multiracial coalitions, and Black Lives Matter was a global movement. So we can't say never.
When has it started?
When did it start? Never.
It stopped.
We'll say that George Floyd was one of the last standing big cases. Okay, but that's just period.
And
that was the last time we had.
George Floyd became a Senate bill that they stopped to start up doing something about the way people are being policed. Black people are being policed.
Right, because we wound up having the right takeover, and tyranny started coming up.
And it got hung up. Who brought it up again? It wasn't the Latino population. It was not them in the streets now. It didn't get passed. We talking about the fifth year now anniversary of George Floyd. Where are we? Black men are still getting struck down in the streets.
Right, but I mean,
and that's exactly the point why we can never stop. We had a little bit of break once they signed the civil rights and all of that stuff, and black people could go get jobs in Washington and the post office and all, and they can let you ride the bus and all that. We had this little break where we thought America was moving forward.
Well, I would sure like America to stand with us.
Presidency, and we had this little insanity that things were getting better.
But my point, George, is I need America to stand with Americans before I get out here and tell you, oh yeah, we got to stand with somebody else that is actually, they are looking for a better life. And I'm not against that. But what I am saying is they're moving to our neighborhoods. That's where they stay, in our neighborhoods, which more than likely, I think they got now all these folks in our neighborhoods. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to get caught up in that. We gonna get caught up in that.
Never
which is the reason why you should be protesting.
No, I need to sit my ass down.
No, you shouldn't, because if you can get caught up in it, you need to be out there protesting. That's the point, is that we could get caught up in it.
We have never fulfilled our obligation to our own people, to ourselves. But the fact of the matter is, we cannot sit back and wait and see. We already see what's happening when they allow anybody to come out of prison and buy a gun, or insane people can just go buy guns. They're already arming themselves.
Right.
So this is not a never we can wait back and see just because them Hispanic people.
Right.
It ain't even like that for us.
Right.
For us, just everything that Dr. Shep is saying, and the simplest part of this real crazy conversation for me with that is we're trying to make them stand on process. The biggest part of what you're talking about is trying to invoke process, make them stand on. That's like
who's trying to make them stand on process? Who's that?
The whole process of giving them due process about trials and trying to make a process happen. They are not interested in the process.
Yeah.
Right.
They are showing us what is on the table for us.
Right. Thank you, George.
I mean,
thank
that's
you,
all
George.
great. That's all great. Let me wave the American flag for you on that one. But what I'm trying to tell you is, how in the hell are you going to be worried about somebody getting due process when we got African-American men that are the most incarcerated, that are in jail? A lot of those in jail are filling up these jails for hire for them to do stuff.
Yeah, but we used to get lynched with no due process.
And most of the men that I'm sitting back and seeing that are getting exonerated, I'm not seeing the Latinos getting exonerated or the white men getting exonerated. I'm seeing black men that have been in there in 30 and 40 years that have been let go after their prime of life, that didn't do the crime that they said.
Yeah,
they did.
but the people who cause those problems are the same state apparatus that we're talking about right now. So those problems are true, and that's why you have to hit them over the head with it every time that they try to present a new front. That's why.
Somebody over the head. George, let me take these other folks, man.
This is me standing up to make certain that we know that this is going to be a fight. This is more than a struggle.
Oh, it's already a fight. They got a fight going on.
It's going to be a fight. It's already more than a struggle. Black people struggled for 400 years, but we've been fighting the whole time. Mm-hmm. Now, the fight is just being put up in your face again.
Again.
Yeah, and so we don't have the option to sit back.
All right, George, I got to take these other calls. Folks holding on here.
Boy, you're going on. I'm like, I said it before I get back to the radio. If I listen to WBOK with Dr. Shepard, you know I got to plug you, Dr. Shepard. Right. And if I ain't listen to Reality Check, having these here heated conversations, I'm going to miss out on some black facts I need to know.
Goodbye, George. Goodbye.
Bye, George.
Eric.
Now look, you... I was trying to do a bell ringing since you took my bell from me. George was on my side.
Eric.
Hey, God bless you, good brother.
What's going on, Big Money?
All right, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to lean more towards G. You know, the black family is...
Wait a minute, say that again. Hold on.
I couldn't hear him. I think we might have lost him on the line.
I ain't losing. If I do lose you, call back. What you say it again?
Yeah, I've got to lean more towards G. I understand both points. Both sides have good points, but I'm going to lean more towards you. You know, the black family's been broken up since day one. You know, since we've been here.
Yes.
And then welfare, another way to break up the black family. So to me, it's not a next. We're next in terms of being broken up. We've been broken up even before the Hispanics were broken up at this point in time. And I just see that the whole thing of the whole enslavement thing. You know, we our backs have been against the wall since we've been here. No one group has really reached out to us like I think we've reached out to other groups. You know, you always heard about the Black Brown Alliance Coalition. Well, I never really holistically heard Hispanics reaching out towards blacks up until right now. I understand Hispanics will reach out to whites. They will reach out to the Asian population, and that's fine. That's their business. But I really never heard them reciprocate that message about the Black-Brown Coalition. If we do get involved and we decide to interact in all the marches, I think we have to specifically say we're doing it for what's best for us, because no other group has really reached out for our well-being. They even did statistics in terms of should blacks receive reparations. I think 66% of Hispanics said blacks should not receive reparations. And those are some of the younger Hispanics. So, again, I haven't really seen a systematic outreach towards the black community up until right now. And if we do get involved, we have to plainly state we're not doing it for an alliance of anybody else, because it doesn't seem like anybody else is interested in having an alliance with us. We're doing it for our own well-being. So that's my only reason I would get involved in something like this.
Right.
So he would get involved. So he's also on my side. Hit the bell.
He's not on your side.
Hit the bell for
He's
me,
not
please.
on your side.
But I think G said he would get. I think G would get involved, but I think it has to be first and foremost for the black community.
Yes.
Would you go to? Would you be? If you was in L.A., you would have came out your house.
Is African Americans had something to do with this? Yes.
They do.
No, you got to understand where it is. This is about deportation. And deportation more so for the Mexicans.
So you would not come out for deportation.
My point for this is, are you messing with the black people in these neighborhoods? No. I'm
okay. So
black folks.
So whose side are you on again, sir?
You know what side I'm on. You don't got to.
Not you.
He with me.
I understand G's point more, but I'm saying if I do get involved, it would be specifically and only for the black community. Because no one else has systematically reached out to us.
Okay, but would you get involved in? So right now, the LA protests are taking place.
Eric,
would you be out there?
Hang the phone up, Eric. Don't even answer. Thank you, brother. It's so good.
I would get involved just for us.
We would get involved
for us.
I would like for blacks to get involved with other groups, but they have to show the same interest of getting involved with us.
That's
if
what
they're not interested in working with us, what's the point? Of reaching out to other groups.
That's all. Eric, you my man, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, good brother.
Talk to you.
All right.
I think that half of the vote is yours and half of the vote is mine.
No, it's not.
That's what I think. No, I'm not ready.
You ready?
Put the bell right back here. That bell goes in the middle.
There we go. Bob.
Yeah.
How you doing,
I got to agree with the doctor. I got to agree
yes.
with him. For the simple reason. Remember those priests in California that kept preaching about he sent all them black men in prison in California? Remember all them preachers? And some of them black guys too? Somebody just sent us to jail, bring us to jail like crazy. That's one thing worked against out there. You changed a lot of their mind too, probably. And another thing, as far as him doing it to us, that he didn't have the right people in charge during the Black Lives Matter movement. You remember he wanted to shoot the knees out of all the black protesters? Remember that?
I don't know. I'm not certain of that one.
Yes, the guy was over the military. He wanted all of the National Guards to start shooting the black protesters in front of the White House. He had to shoot the kneecaps out. That's what he asked.
Oh.
Remember that?
Mm-mm.
But he had the wrong man in charge. He said, no, we can't do that.
Are you talking about when they were protesting in D.C.?
He did it. And look, I think it's going to be worse if it happened to us, because you know what the test was? The Gaza Strip was the test.
The Gaza Strip is the test.
Yeah, listen.
The Gaza Strip.
Because all the black people live in certain areas, like all the black people in all this office, about how many of them live in the East? That would be an easy thing to pull off. That would be all in black areas. That would be the easiest thing to pull off, especially the ones living in the East. They're on the island.
See,
they're on the island.
That's how I feel.
They're on the island.
So
the Dazzler Branch, the Seabrook Branch, the High Rise, the 510, and the Causeway, and Highway 90 cuts them off. Now, you remember what happened to Katrina when they tried to cut off the people coming across the bridge? That's the same stuff that happened again.
Okay. All right, Bob.
Thank you so much. He brought up a good point, and it's almost like going back to our show when we were talking about the Palestinians and Gaza and protesting for those folks. Why? Because the same people who the IDF who they're against train the police officers that come into our cities. They are trained by the IDF at Cop City, and those same policing strategies will wind up in our communities, let alone what the caller was saying is that even we're in the belly of the beast, they have the ability to control wide and large areas of our electrical grid, how it is that we receive food. What he's saying is we got even worse things headed our way. If we take even what's happening in the Gaza Strip as being indicative of what can come inside of our areas, our policemen are already trained by the IDF, which we see what the IDF is doing to people. They're raping folks and have all kinds of terroristic things that are the chickens coming home to roost. Now, when we did our show on Gaza, you didn't say that. You didn't say, well, leave the Palestinians to themselves.
No.
They should have to. You didn't do that.
No, I did not. You are correct. I didn't. You know what I did?
What?
You need to tell the whole story. You're going to tell the story.
No. I'm just saying. You didn't say that. We was both on the Palestinian side.
I didn't understand what was going on, and I needed to learn better. It was our audience, along with you, that was actually taking the moment to educate me more about it, because I didn't understand what the full extent of what has happened in history.
Right.
Now, in this history, you can't tell me I don't know about black folks.
No, of course you know about black folks.
But I'm telling black folks, where are you in this as far as walking out for another nationality, or immigrants as they've been called, to say they're going to get deported by ICE?
Can I say something? Can I answer something
please.
right into where you just said?
Right.
You said immigrants or other nationalities, and I just want to make the statement of saying it's not about immigrants. It's not about illegal immigrants. It really isn't even about that nationality, because as we said on the show, the people who they are targeting are not just the criminals not just the illegal immigrants. They are going after anybody who even looks Latino, which puts you in a little bit of danger, G. You said it could be our communities, and I just want to make sure that I say that.
I just need you to understand you ain't too dark yourself.
That's what I'm saying. Take it to the streets.
All right.
Should I keep score?
Right, take it to the streets.
Should I keep score?
No.
No, we know who's winning over here.
I just need to let everybody know that me and Guadalupe are coming back in just a minute here. We're going to be right back. We're going to be right back, y'all.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris.
Where's your decency, Mr. President? Stop. Rescind this order. It's illegal and unconstitutional. And I said it. I'll say it again. It's immoral. You're creating the conditions that you claim you're solving.
That was California Governor Gavin Newsom as unrest continues across Los Angeles. Thousands of protesters speaking up against President Trump's recent ICE raids and sweeping immigration crackdown. Demonstrators decrying mass detentions in the Fashion District and Home Depot parking lots. Guard troops, 2,000 activated nationwide, and about 300 now on the ground in LA, and roughly 500 Marines stationed at 29 Palm stand ready to protect federal buildings. Protesters blocked the 101 freeway. The last time a president federalized the Guard without a governor's request was Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1966. Today's deployment aimed at quelling demonstrations for immigrant justice, not safeguarding constitutional protest. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
The shocking news about the return of the skulls of 19 black Americans from Germany to New Orleans reminded me of a sobering quote by the late playwright, poet, and author James Baldwin, who said, "To be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. That rage boils to the surface when confronted with the inhumane cruelty suffered at the hands of those who would be indifferent to our humanity. Such cruelty and inhumanity was inflicted upon 19 black Americans from New Orleans 150 years ago. after their deaths at Charity Hospital and denied a proper burial. They were stripped of their dignity, their heads removed from their bodies, and wrongfully and unethically taken to Germany for racist scientific research. They were exploited as part of a racist colonial pseudoscience theory that proliferated the belief that you could determine a person's intelligence by the shape of their skull, a seemingly insane means of attempting to prove the superiority of one race over another. After more than a century, the skulls of the 19 patients who died at Charity Hospital have now been returned to the Crescent City and honored with the burial they were denied in the 1870s. Dr. Eva Baham, a retired professor and researcher at Dillard University, led the repatriation committee. And we owe the modern-day German scientist, Dr. Baham, and her team gratitude for bringing them home and giving them a special homecoming. The unthinkable happened to them. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Plan on flying? It's time to upgrade to a Real ID. Because in order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a Real ID, or you'll need another acceptable form of identification. So don't wait. Find out how to get your Real ID at tsa.gov/Real ID. That's tsa.gov/Real ID, or visit your local DMV. And then you'll be cleared for takeoff.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's Elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 Minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Accru NOLA invites you to join their community network in celebration honoring Juneteenth and Pride Month. On Thursday, June 19th, diverse professionals will gather for FET by Accru, an evening of authentic connection and collaboration from 5 to 8 p.m. at the lab on Ursulines Avenue. This safe, inclusive space brings together innovators across the greater New Orleans area and the Gulf South for meaningful conversations that advances your business and professional career. Accru creates pathways for sustainable growth through genuine community. So for driven networking like this, learn more at accrunola.com/RSVP.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Uptown, downtown, wherever you are, keep it locked in to WBOK.
Here we go.
The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right. Right, folks. You knew I was going to laugh. Back at it at 504-582-9422. Deidre.
Hello.
Deidre.
Hey, G, how you doing? Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. Look, I just called and said, Doc, I'm kind of like on your side, but I'm of two minds on it.
Okay.
I know that every time we've had a problem in this country and we got out and took it to the streets, we were joined by others, especially during the Civil Rights Movement. We were joined by a lot of Jews and a lot of white people, like Marlon Brando, okay?
Okay.
And we couldn't have got anything done without the white president signing both the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Bill. But every time they give you something, they take something back. With the Civil Rights Bill, we got things, and now they're trying to what? Take it all back. With the Voting Rights Bill, you have to approve it every 7 years. So it was kind of like kind of gave you a gift and then kind of didn't. Every time they give us something, they take it right back. So we kind of got to be careful with that. And as far as helping out the Latinos, all Latinos are not a monolith.
Yes.
If you're talking about Latinos from Cuba, Venezuela, and some parts of El Salvador, then you're talking about the more conservative types. And they're afraid of authoritarianism, even though they're walking right back into it with the Republican Party. Now, the people from Mexico, Honduras, they're more of the Democrat type. So you can't say all black people don't think the same. We got a lot of jigaboos amongst us. Okay? So when you're talking about Taco, and that's what I call him now because that name kills him. He can't stand it. His name is Taco Trump. What? Always chickens out. All black and brown people are subjected to deportation, especially if this big, beautiful bill passes and you get rid of birthright citizenship. Then that means ADOS. The descendants of slaves can be deported too. But you know, my people, unless you stick their head in the feces, they don't smell it.
Come
on.
on.
Don't believe it till they're actually on the plane going to wherever. But I want to let them know if they're listening. If you get Deidre, bring me to Burkina Faso. I don't have a problem living under Abraham Traore. Okay? You can bring me to Burkina Faso, baby, or Botswana.
Yes,
You don't want.
You done went left. You
Thank
went left.
you.
No, keep going left.
She done went left.
Thank you. And so you would say what? You agree with me about like 60%?
Nuh-uh. Give me that
No,
baby.
I agree with you like maybe 80 to 85% because we have not gotten anything done. And when George Floyd was done, the whole entire world, not just America, but the whole entire world. And what happened after we did George Floyd? We got more Trump. Hello? Hello? Yes, we're still back in the same thing. Just like with the civil rights era, just like with Barack Obama. When we got Barack Obama, who we got after Barack Obama? Trump.
Right.
So every time they give us something, they take a little something back. When we got integration, wonderful. Oh, we could go by the white man restaurant. But now the black man restaurant had to close. See? So there goes our black wealth. Every time they give you something, they take a little something away. So be careful for what you ask for because you just might get it. And as far as like we want to be on an island, you don't want to be on an island. Like that old poem says, when it came for the Catholics, I said nothing because I'm not Catholic. When it came for the Jews, I said nothing. Well, when they come for me, nobody was around to stand for me. You don't want to be on that island either. So you might want to rethink. And like I say, the Latinas in California have nothing to do with the ones in Florida. The ones in Florida, the Cubans, they love the Republican Party. Until recently, now you got your Venezuelans who were for Trump on here crying. I have no sympathy for them.
Yeah.
Cry me a bucket of tears. I care less. But the Latinas in California, totally different. They've always been holding down Democrats. Always. So you can't just turn your back on them and say it's not my problem. It is your problem. Because like I say, if they get rid of birthright citizenship, ADOS, adios amigos, you're going to be going too. And Gerard, with your mouth and my mouth especially, that's why I'm naming my spot, Burkina Faso. You can show me over anytime you feel like it, Mo.
Yeah, let's be like, let's
They
go.
just knit this shit together. They even got a dairy farm and all that going on now. Okay.
Yes,
They're not
indeed.
playing.
Yes, indeed. All right, my dear, let me get these other calls.
Thank you so much.
All right, baby. Later. Love y'all.
All right. What you say, Matt?
What's going on? How y'all doing today?
You the man.
Look, didn't Trump tell them that he was going to deport them?
Yes, sir.
Didn't black people, during the election, tell them, look, if y'all mess with this man, y'all going to get deported?
Yes, sir.
We told them. If I tell somebody that stove is hot and you touch it anywhere and you burn your hand, that's on you. Now, having said that, I'm somewhat sympathetic, but as far as me and mine going out there,
you ain't going.
No, no, sir, no, sir.
Put down the bell.
It's time for us. It's time. Let's sit out a couple of these things and let some things happen. Maybe that'll get their mind right. They got to get their mind right.
Touch the
mine
stove
right.
when it's on. What happens? You burn yourself.
Huh?
Touch the stove when it's on. What happens?
You get burned. And we told them, y'all mess with this man. And you know, it was a lot of black women was the main one saying, let them, They got Trump, now let them deal with it. We need to sit out. And the way they did that sister, the way they did Kamala, man, look, I'm sorry. Y'all got it. Y'all deal with it.
Gotcha.
Heard that. I still disagree. I disagree because the Latino vote only increased by 7%, and across all demographics, the vote
7%,
increased.
but there was a decrease
Well,
from the number
you're
that
a young woman. I'm an old man now. I'm getting Social Security now. So I've been around. I've been seeing this thing going on for years and years. And and let me tell you something else. Even those that's in California, they may be Democrats, but they ain't always our friend. If you remember what happened in that school board meeting, how they talked about them black people and everything,
yep,
they're not necessarily our friend. So
yep,
hey,
the school board out in Los Angeles.
Let's sit some of this stuff out.
Mostly
Let
Latino.
them fend for themselves for a while. We would have spearhead. We spearheaded everything. We were the tip of the spear. Let somebody else take it for a while.
All right, Matt. Thank you,
All
brother.
right.
I'm gonna come sit out there at St. Aug's football games with you here. I'm sorry, you mighty quiet. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was
just wondering, making sure you still keeping count.
No, I'm still keeping count. I think you only had about 3 people on your side up until this point.
So we are keeping score.
I was keeping score. G is trying to
cheat.
fudge the numbers like other
go.
people we know.
She's trying to cheat. More coming up, folks. Everybody hold tight.
Be okay if you're listening here on the airwaves. It's that WBOK 12:30 a.m.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is blaming former President Trump for sparking weekend violence.
It's the last thing our city needs.
She says ICE raids triggered fear that escalated when Trump sent in federal troops. While Trump claims he deployed the National Guard due to rising chaos, Bass and Governor Newsom are urging him to pull the troops from LA. Bass is also calling for continued peaceful protest. A former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, identified as Jane, told the court she feared he'd film explicit acts on his phone that others could access. She previously testified he forced her to have sex with 3 male escorts while he watched. And Black Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is joining a multi-state lawsuit to block the release of forced reset triggers, devices that turn semi-automatic guns into machine guns. He says the move violates federal law and would increase gun violence and risk in Maryland communities. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go.
The reality check on WBOK 12:30 a.m.
All right, folks, welcome back. Dr. Shepard in the building. What you seeing?
On Politico, they said it's a warning sign for what is to come next. It is a warning sign for what is to come next. That's why we should push back.
Okay. All right. Hey, Ron.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's going on, brother?
I'm chilling. Dr. Shepard. Well, first, shouts out to the Fatherhood Roundtable, People's Political Party, as well as the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Dr. Shepard, you know I love you wholeheartedly. You know I do, but I got to go with my boy G. And
I knew you would. I knew you would. I think the deck has been stacked against me.
Nope.
And let me tell you why. Because y'all know I'm out here in these streets protesting and organized protesting and things like that also. And whenever it comes to us, it's always us when it comes to our issue. The only reason why people came out for the George Floyd protest is because when they were sending the pressers to come out for the George Floyd protesters, the ones that was organized here, it wasn't put out like strictly for black people. It was put out like with this like a kind of watered down version to get other ethnic groups to come out, because when you look back and see like real organized black community events, you don't see them people coming over there with us. The only way they're going, as a matter of fact, if you if you think back when that what that was, the Vietnamese lady had got killed at the store.
Yep.
You had to come on the radio and tell the people what y'all better turn these people in because the Vietnamese don't organize people to do, street justice.
Yep. And they
all
did.
these groups.
They did.
Thank you. They stand back until one of their own is attacked. They really don't come out like how we expect for them to come out. The only way I go out there, other than if I need some TVs or speakers and rims and stuff like that, it gotta be for my community. I'm sorry because again, we constantly go through these same old games, and again, the game don't change. Only the characters, whether it be Democratic or Republican. Like I said, we just had a Democratic governor who told Ronald Green's mother, Miss Mona, that Ronald Green was killed because his car went off the interstate and ran into a tree. That was a Democratic governor, whether he act Republican or not.
Right.
He was blue. So I mean, these people don't care. It's like with the mayoral election we having right now. You got people that's in the community supposed to be fighting for the community. These clowns are arguing with one another behind a candidate who really don't give a damn about either one of them. Because to be honest with you, all of them don't mean us no damn good. Because if that was the case, show me your track record, right? Don't just start coming to the second lines now because you need the black vote, right? Don't just start coming to kiss our babies and coming to our churches and things like that because you need our vote.
For sure.
Show me what you have done, and that's going to show me what you're going to do.
It makes me think about a caller called in earlier, and he was saying that it just slipped my mind. But basically, I was going to say that I don't take my comments as saying like, oh, they should have voted for Kamala and Democrats are better than Republicans, because that's not the point to me. The point for me is when we see that the government is using military forces against citizens and that it happens to be targeted at minorities, that is the time when we are supposed to take a stand. Because what we know is that those same arsenals, that same technology is about to be used on us as soon as they get a chance to be able to turn attention on us. And part of, even though I don't feel like I'm a very patriotic person, but part of what is supposed to be American is the fact that the people will always stand against tyranny, or at least that's the message we tell ourselves. And so I think that that is part of like our responsibility is to stand up against state violence. And I think that, when the caller called in earlier, he was saying that the Democrats, that was Shed. He called in and he said the Democrats aren't doing anything to get us set up for the next 2 years. And for midterm elections, we don't even see them positioning themselves. I think that you don't even hear any Democratic leadership other than Newsom right now talking about anything that impacts the people who are at the marches or the way that we think about the state. So I don't think it's about the Democrats or the Republicans. I think it's that you're supposed to be standing up against state-sponsored violence because we know it always winds up impacting us.
That is absolutely true. And what we also know as it relates to this government is that they always try stuff on other groups of people just so they can pay for what they're going to do to us.
Right.
And that's why I think what G is talking about, like as it relates to us, going out there and trying to support others when them same others are not really supporting us. Because, like,
I'm not going to get tear gas and die, possibly because of.
You don't get tear gas. You grab the tear gas with the gloves, you put it inside of water mixed with baking soda, and you shake it up, and you have on your mask.
Don't you go back out there no more. Because you shouldn't even know that. How you know that?
I'm just,
you shouldn't even know that.
It should be a learning moment for everybody.
That is true.
Nothing.
It should be a learning moment for everybody. They said prepare.
But Aaron, I'm looking around and saying to myself, when is somebody going to go out there and grab that thing for me? When they going to grab that tear gas, put it in the thing, shake it up, put on the daggone tear gas for me?
They did.
Exactly.
They learned. Now let me. As I school you, but let me just say, I hear you. But let me just say, the reason why I know that is because during Black Lives Matter, when they were under assault, the people who were protesting that were the Arab Spring, were also protesting, and they found out what it is that they needed to do to counter tear gas. So when Black Lives Matter was going on, they had Arabs from the world over messaging them and telling them what they needed to do to be able to combat the police. So that is movements of the people getting together to fight against state-sponsored violence, so that now when it comes up in LA that they are seeing the police and they are putting out tear gas, now we know what to do. And that is only because of people who are under state violence working together in these movements.
But it's the same people that were in what part of this that they were protesting, that they took the cameras and started walking with the folks, seeing who was vandalizing the buildings in the neighborhood, and found out that that was the Arab folks that were in there inciting and also throwing.
No, they had that. Some of those people were plants who were used to be able to call, but that's not the same. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
No, those were government plants. That was.
But what were they? I'm saying, what nationality were they?
The one who I'm talking about was a white man. The one who was going down, busting out the windows, and he busted out the window of like a Target or a CVS or something like that. He was a masked white man. He was masked from head to toe all the way down. Now, regardless, what we should know from Black Lives Matter and before is that they are going to plant people inside of your protest to make them become all the more violent. Regardless, that's not the point. The point is that the circulation of information comes from out of the Arab world to the people of Black Lives Matter and is now being shown to people who are in LA fighting against deportations. And that is Arab, Black, and Latino all working together to fight against state-sanctioned violence. And I think that's important.
Arabs to work with
that's
Black
important.
folks.
I just told you.
I can't even go to your store.
Now I'm gonna tell you this, G. When we took the bridge, I mean, when people I know took the bridge, it did have the Arabs out there.
Thank you.
With the milk and with the
the
mask and everything, and showing people what to do. The night when people not me, people I know.
So that's the reason. But that's the reason why I'm saying that we have had support from other folks. I don't support the narrative of the fact that nobody ever comes out for us when the largest protest that we've just seen sweep through the world off of Black Lives Matter showed us that they had other communities that would come out and support us. Mm-hmm. And that information is still there. That's how I know. When they throw the tear gas, that's what you're supposed to do with it. Ask me how I know, because of Black Lives Matter and the Arab Spring.
All right. Hey, Ron,
let me say this also. That's the last thing I'm gonna say. What I will say is that when it comes to this right here, we do need to stand back and prepare ourselves to fight the winner. Because a lot of times they always make it seem like it be us aggravating or exacerbating the situation even more. So what I say is, our people, we need to stand back, let them people do what they're doing, and we prepare to fight the winner.
Give me this bell. You know? I appreciate that, brother. Could you say one more time, maybe? Are y'all doing the free red beans and rice Mondays?
Every Monday. Every Monday at 1529 Street by the Community Center by Baba Malik and General Rico. We have our free Red Bean Monday, which you get red beans, fried chicken, a baked chicken, cake, salad, and a bread and a drink, water, cool drink. Every Monday starting at 11 o'clock. For free.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for that.
Back to the community.
All right, hey, Ron,
thank you so much for that. I'll call you.
All right. Uptown B.
Hey, Dr. Shepard.
Yes.
Hey. I have to go with G with this one.
Oh.
I got to.
Oh.
Only I understand your moral platitude and your civil rights zeal and zest. However,
put your hands down.
I look at this I always use history when I look at things like this. And what have other groups done to respond outside of that, outside of our own Black experience, right? We've written the book. If there's anything that any group that wants to protest in this country, there's literature upon literature, documentation on top of documentation of what we did, right? It's there. It's available for struggle in this United States.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing we need to teach anybody. Oh, I'm with you, G.
Yep.
There's nothing we need to do. It's all there. That's like putting the food out. You want me to feed it to you? You want me to chew it for you? I can't do that for you.
But the purpose of black people being there isn't to show them how to have a protest. The purpose of black people being there is to come out in massive support to say that you're against the dehumanization and the kidnapping of people off of the streets by masked men who allegedly are ICE. It's not about showing them how to do a protest.
Our history has been the same.
But that,
right.
But
our
again,
history stands in the gap. Our history stands in the gap to do the talking for us, sister. We don't need to go run out there and do that. All of that is there. They know who we are and where we stand. We are a people that on the side of justice and righteousness.
But you saying where we stand, but that's
you don't know black
from their
people.
house.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. But if you have to question that, you don't know black folks. And it's their job to reach out and say, hey, these people been here a long time. What did they do? Or why did they get? You have to reach out. We are the people that have taken the daggers. That's my stance. And look, I look at this, Dr. Shepard, and I don't want to, grandstand nothing like that. When you look at the Cherokees, right, in the Civil War, there were a group, there were natives that fought on Confederacy and Union sides. There's some that fought Confederacy and Union. You know why they fought? A lot of them fought from their own perspective for their own tribes' survival and future. The Cherokees fought on the Union side to get a more, because they wanted their sovereignty. They felt the Confederacy would protect their sovereignty. So we have to do more reacting, more responding, and less reacting. That's my position.
All right, B. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, Mr. Harrow.
Yes, my phone, I guess, is blocked from call. Every time I try to call, it won't go through. And I'm calling from Alicia. I love Dr. Shepard to death. She's educated. She's educated, but on this situation, she's naive.
Wait a minute, say it again. Say it again. Wait a minute, she what? She wrong?
I said, in this conversation, she is naive. I'm a people person, and I'm in Los Angeles. I'm about 2 to 3 miles from where the activity is going on, and I'm in Texas sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The people that you're talking about, there's no, what's the word? My wife is an English major, and I'm trying to learn English. But there's no coalition, okay? You're talking about, the country was founded on racism. And there can be more racism than the fool that's in the White House today. And that's what this stuff is all about. The people in this country, they use other people. They have used these people, and just like toilet tissue, you need it, you have to have it, but when you get through with it, you flush it down the sewage. So the people here, I'll say it again, there's no coalition. I know city supervisors, and some have told me when they get one of these people as a supervisor, they try to get rid of all the blacks and replace them with the people that you're talking about. So what I'm saying to you is they learn from blacks, they take from blacks, but they have little or no, and I'm talking about on the whole. And there's a difference in everything. They have little or no regard for you, even if you think so. So I'm a third generation building contractor, and all the construction that is going on here in Los Angeles, you will very rarely find blacks involved. Now, when you say coming for us, it's a different day. There are blacks here. Well, a few days ago, a black couple made an offer on our house. The house they were asking $90 million for the house. So the difference in blacks today, I would say, is being educated and understand who they are and what they should be doing. Now, I know blacks that are doing everything. It's not like it used to be or like it was us. It's a different us.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say is these people, I'll say these people, they are not, how can I tell you? They learn from you, they take from you, they don't give to you. And Home Depot is my second home. And they've done some raids here, and I don't like that at all. But you have a total fool in the White House. And I've seen him in face-to-face before. When he got to start, I'll repeat it again, when he got to start here in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But he is a pure fool, and something is this stuff is not going to continue to go on. If you watch on Sunday, I didn't know a black woman is head of the Library of Congress. She got a notice without anybody that she was being relieved or she was relieved from her post. The fool said he was going to run on racism, and a lot of those people voted for him. No two ways about it. But they would rather, toward so-called white people than black people, okay? So black people need to learn something about themselves. I know something about blacks because I'm kind of black. And in the Jewish community, it's we. In the black community, it's me. And that's where our problem is. We don't work together. I met George Floyd's people. I met his family. So what I'm saying is we don't understand, I'll say we don't understand ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to holler at you. I tried over and over to call you, but I think it's some crap going on. Mm-hmm. But anyway, all this stuff is happening downtown.
Yeah.
And I haven't even been looking at it on television. Okay. So I appreciate you, but we need to know who we are.
Yep.
And these other people, they use our tactics. I was with Martin Luther King twice.
Yeah.
I got to meet Thurgood Marshall. And I'm kind of getting old a little bit. But life has been good for me. I know some good people. I know some good for nothing people.
Okay.
I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you shortly.
All right, Mr. Harold. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
All right, more coming up, y'all. We got to take a break.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM. Or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
Connect with NOLA Public Schools. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X for the latest updates. Sign up for District Digest, our official newsletter where we share district achievements, celebrate student successes, and keep you informed about our vision of providing a high-quality education. And don't miss our school board meetings. Watch in person or live stream on YouTube. Stay informed, stay engaged. Visit nolapublicschools.com today. Again, that's nolapublicschools.com.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
Do you know what United Way can do for you and your community? Find out by listening to United Way and You every Thursday at noon on WBOK 1230. United Way continues to fight for the most vulnerable members of the community. Find out how this Thursday and every Thursday at noon.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
New Schools for New Orleans is committed to keeping and finding great teachers for our students in Orleans Parish. If you or someone you know is interested in becoming a teacher for the 25-26 school year, let us help you. We've created the New Orleans Teacher Job Board, which is the official job platform of public schools in New Orleans. You can apply to any school in the city. Simply post your resume and provide information about yourself. Visit our website to learn more and apply. www.neworleansteacherjobboard.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. About 6:25 now. 504-582-9422. Woo-hoo, yoo-hoo. Dr. Shepard?
Yes. I think the last series of callers were on your side, but the first few hours of callers were on my side. So
we got a tie.
There you go.
I wouldn't necessarily say a tie.
Call it a tie. Yes.
I think we need to. I would demand a recount. What?
So how you going to demand a recount on me, but you ain't demand a recount on the presidential election?
That's what I'm saying.
So no. See, that's the thing that I'm talking about right there. That's
ridiculous.
Right there. This is gonna blow up. There's no way in the world that, no matter what you say or what I say, and I'm gonna just put this into one perspective, but this is gonna blow up. Mm-hmm. We're already seeing the steps or how far that Trump, whoever's advising him, whether it's the immigration czar or whoever. This is just the beginning, and don't forget, we're getting ready to see the display of our military might on the streets of D.C. on the 14th of this month, which is going to cost us what, 16 million, 15, 16, 14, somewhere between 14, 16 million, just to fix the streets, because they're putting tanks on the street and they're putting all these other elaborate missiles and all that on the street.
But I
of
thought
DC.
they have money.
Huh?
I thought they didn't have money. Is that just when it comes to our health care?
It's his birthday.
Is it just when it comes to our health care that they don't have money?
Taco's birthday. That's what that is. Taco having his birthday party.
My birthday's coming up.
When your birthday?
The 12th. That's
right. Your birthday is
on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I want a whole military parade for my birthday.
Girl, I'm gonna go in there and get all the fellas off the street that's packing. And we gonna walk down the street. Pow, 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 pow. This for Dr. Shepard, bitches. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm going to sit up there and I'm going to wave at y'all.
You need to be ducking. You need to be ducking. And look, we're gonna have a commentator. And there he is with a street sweeper.
With a switch.
Oh, here comes somebody with an AK-47. Yeah. Dr. Shepard, he's got a full automatic clip. Yeah. Is that a bazooka?
And Father's Day's coming up soon.
I don't need nobody.
And shout out
shooting
to my
up.
daddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to my daddy.
Your pop is the bomb. I like
He
your
is.
dad.
And shout outs to you. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
Early Father's Day.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be here. Maybe a couple of days this week later on. I'll let everybody know, so everybody don't be looking around and calling my phone and texting me, because when I don't show up, they be like, he quit. Did it firm?
I'm gonna tell him you at the LA protest.
I'm going out there with my mask. And I'm dragging this little girl with a whole bunch of hair with me. But I know my grandmother, my father's sister, my aunt. I said my grandmother, but my father's sister, my aunt Marjorie, she passed.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
And I need to go to the funeral. It's going to be next weekend, out in Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay.
So I got to go to Virginia Beach, and then everybody's talking about it online as well. But Sly Stone passed too, so that's before your time.
I was like, okay, who?
Thank you for letting me be myself. That should be your theme song.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Sly Stone.
Oh.
Sly and the Family Stone. So he passed too. He was out in L.A.
Oh, okay.
In that era. So he went through a whole bunch, from those days to now. And actually all those record companies that were, taking his music and putting it in catalogs and all, they weren't paying him.
Right.
And he was homeless for a while. Yeah.
We got to talk more about doing due diligence for our black artists.
Yeah. So he was out there on the streets homeless for a while. Somebody ran up on him and he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And he told them who it was. There was history from them, but they started getting the right people. I think some legal folks helping him out and making sure that he got his money. So condolences to him, his family. And he's always left a legacy. He got all that music catalog now. So we'll see what his family's gonna do too. So we'll know. But yeah, probably either Thursday and Friday or Friday. I'm not going to be here because I got to go to Virginia Beach. So you're doing the show by yourself. There you go. Huh?
What?
What? Who are you looking at? You looking for the
I
roach?
was looking behind
He was looking for
you.
your roach.
Don't call it my roach.
Yeah, it was your
That's
roach.
y'all roach.
Yeah, he was looking for you.
That roach was here when I came.
He was looking for you. He got here. He was like, "Where's she at?"
Wow.
Yeah. So, but back to the story at hand here.
Yeah.
This is going to blow up.
Well, of course, because when I say we seeing things ramp up, it's like he just passed a new executive order about the military being able to come in.
The Marines
He's
coming.
stepping over states' rights. What happened to the
coming.
states' rights people?
Yep.
Okay, so this is like what they call unprecedented. This is unprecedented.
The last time that we saw a state that had military or the National Guard in it was back during the riots. I wouldn't say riots, but during the protests of the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Alabama when they brought in the National Guard then. So how long is that? 60 years?
Okay, I have a question. It's a real question. You might not have the answer.
I didn't do it.
You might not have the answer. But don't we always used to have the National Guard show up here. So what is that? Is that because the state, like when they would come in after Katrina and help to patrol, is that because the mayor or the governor had to ask for them?
The governor did for lawlessness because we had all the looters and all this other stuff that happened after. So you sign a state of emergency for.
But I don't mean just during Katrina. I mean like in the years afterward, they would come every now and again.
We were still in the state of emergency because it took a long time to restore power. People still coming in here looting. You had all these different companies coming in to do some type of, I guess, cleaning out. We had to clean out all the neighborhoods because they had so much, toxic waste here. We had a lot of toxic waste. So, I mean, you got to remember, just in Chalmette alone, they had one of the, they held all that oil, 1 million gallons of oil spilled. And they kept that real quiet. And so they had the oil company going in and trying to, power wash and clean out people's dirt in the yards and all that other stuff. So I never forget, we had a unit we had a military unit, National Guard unit in Chalmette, walking around in Chalmette looking for 55-gallon drums of toxic chemicals because it got washed away.
Wow.
From the plants out there, from the gas plants, all the stuff, and it was benzene.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 55-gallon.
Did they find it?
Well, we found several of them, and I'll never forget. We walked out in that trailer park, and I thought everybody was out of there, but it was a lot of folks that stayed, and that water broke those trailer parks up like tin cans. And you saw these kids in the yard. This is a true story. The kids running around in the yard. There was a 55-gallon drum, black drum with a poison cross on it, the skull with the bones.
Oh, my.
And they were playing Ring Around the Rosie around that. I mean, you got to think about something. After Katrina, the average temperature out here was like 90-some degrees. I think it was like 96 degrees that day.
It probably was 99 because it was hot.
And they were out there running around playing Ring Around the Rosie. We were looking at them like, don't alarm them. But we were trying to get the kids from around the 55-gallon drum.
Don't alarm them.
Well, you don't want to say, move, kid, move.
That's what you should say.
Then the other thing, our unit was, I think, 99% black. I think we had one Hispanic.
See, black brown solidarity.
That wasn't no solidarity. That was orders. Shoot. And then we were out there, telling those kids get away from the drum. And then the white man, came out of the trailer with a shotgun.
Terrible.
Y'all get the away from my property. And I was like, And I'm standing out there and I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you just did. So somebody's pointing a gun at you, which was a shotgun. I think it was a sawed-off shotgun. But you got 8 National Guard military men from all across America that have been in that unit walking all day with boots on. And it's 90-some degrees, and they got them fatigues on. So they sweating like, in and out. Next thing I know, you saw the deployment of how you spread out when you are
under attack.
Under some type of attack. And I'm telling the man, sir, you might want to put that gun down. And he was like, end this and end. I was like, I ain't gonna be 2 more ends. Not no more. I need you to understand something. There's a reason why I'm telling you to put that shotgun down. Not because we're here to hurt you, not to hurt your children. But if you don't take a look around, because you focused on me, there are 8 guys over here that have weaponry, military weaponry, pointed at you. Now, you might take me out, or you might shoot at me, but you're going to be dead.
This is a really good story of how poor white people work against their own best interest.
And I'm like, your kids should not have that story to tell. I said, that drum sitting in your yard is unstable. It's 55 gallons of very unstable chemicals that go to the refinery. And it's 96 degrees out here. It ain't supposed to be that hot. And I said, only that, you're talking about pure benzene that's going to cause cancer to you and your kids. They're not going to grow up. and they probably won't make it to a couple of years. So I need to call in a hazardous response team to come in here and get that. I need you to get out of that trailer and get your kids, and we're going to move you somewhere else. He put the gun down. He had no choice. He had 8 guys with a whole bunch of weaponry pointed at him. They were going to kill him. But I ain't going to be no ends no more. He apologized. But I ain't, I had to take it like what it is. You just said to me what you meant.
Right.
I wonder, are you teaching your kids that too?
And you just saved his life
just
and their
saved your life
lives.
and theirs.
So did he apologize?
Yeah,
He apologized.
He apologized. But I just said, because you honestly, you saw me as what you called me until I told you that you getting ready to die.
His truth came up.
Yeah, you just told the truth. So I had to take that as in whatever. You can apologize all you want to, but you said what you meant. Wow. Yeah, it just reminded me when I was in North Carolina, when I was in college. I was working at, I don't know if I ever told you this one.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was working at Piggly Wiggly.
What?
I was a bad boy.
Go ahead.
I paid my way through school, working at Piggly Wiggly. And I had just got off work. And I was leaving out of there, and I went to go get some gas. And, I had what kind of car I had? I don't even know if you know about these type of cars.
Okay, go ahead.
I had a Ford Pinto.
Oh, okay. I remember the Pinto.
I used to love that car. That was the best car that I ever had. And I went to the store to go get me some gas. And I was walking into the little convenience store. And the lady was behind the counter, had her little boy out there in there playing. So I was walking through, getting me some candy and all little knickknacks and all that other stuff. And I walked up to the store counter, and the little boy looked at it and said, "Look, Mommy, there's a..."
Oh.
She slapped the doo-doo
Oh,
out.
good.
I was like, no, don't hit him.
Oh, don't hit him.
No, don't hit him. Because he was crying out. I was like, you all right?
I'm sorry.
Don't hit him.
I was like, oh, good. She corrected it.
No, don't hit him, and don't hit him for a reason. Da-da-da-da-da. That's what I was telling her. I said, don't hit him for a reason. She said, what? I said, don't hit him. Ain't no need to hit him. Because all he doing is repeating what he heard you say. What he heard you say. He didn't say it to nobody else. He said, Mommy, look, there's the N-word. He heard you say it.
What did she say when you said he heard you say it?
She stood there for a minute and didn't say anything. I need to get 20 on pump 5.
You shut her up and him up too.
Yep.
That reminds me of that story about Frantz Fanon. You know who I'm talking about? He's an Algerian freedom fighter, or he was. He passed. But he also wrote the book, The Wretched of the Earth. And he was talking about one time he was in France. I think he was walking through the airport. And the same exact thing happened to him where a little white kid pointed at him and said, look, Mommy, N-word. But then he was like, he's going to eat me. And he started like getting scared and all kinds of stuff. And the story is meant to be like, one, contrasting or whatever, the fact that you think these little white kids are supposed to be like innocent, but the fact that they're picking up racism or at such a young age, they already know how racism goes. They know what to call you. They know to be scared. Like, it's so much in there about their programming. So it's interesting that you told her, oh, no, he's only responding to what he heard you say.
Yeah, but think about something. Let's go back. Let's go back in time. Think about the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen were flying. I think they were stationed or had some type of, it was either in France or some part of Spain, one of the two. And remember what the rumor was. They had the women that come in and like, oh, look at his skin. That's so nice. Da-da-da-da. Can you show it to me? And they were like, what are you talking about?
Can you show the
tail?
Oh, I do remember that.
The rumor was that black men
had tails.
And they wanted to see it.
Yeah, that's real wild.
I would have been like, look here, though.
I got a different tail for you, baby.
Let me turn around and it comes from the front. Boogity, 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 boo. Nah, what you think about that? You know I'm ignorant. What you think about that tail?
Where Where do we go next in this conversation?
I don't even know how we got there. How do we get there?
I think you just wanted to show people about your
I
tail.
just need to show everybody well, that look like a tail, G. You're damn right. You all right?
I'll be okay. I will. Mm-hmm. I had a friend though who got assaulted by a white person when she went to go visit Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They scratched at her legs and started barking at her in a cafe. Really? Wow.
I should have took my tail out of who's that?
Yeah, maybe if you would have had the tail,
Look at that. That's
did
a
all
whip.
of that.
That's a whip. Yeah, but getting back on track.
Can we get back on track? Because what
okay.
I was going to say is that they have video of Trump during Black Lives Matter saying that he would not bring in the National Guard because he could not step on states' rights. And so that clip is like starting to resurge as he's doing all of this other stuff. Now, I heard you saying that it's about who's informing him about what to do. And when you said that, I said Peter Thiel, right? Because Peter Thiel, I forget the other guy's name right now. It'll come to me. And some of the architects of Project 2025 are the people who are telling him what to do. And I think it's important to say Peter Thiel because he's the person who is the technocrat. He started a business with Elon Musk. And he said that we should not have democracy. We need a dictator. And J.D. Vance has been on record several times saying that he likes Peter Thiel's messaging. And he's the person who says we need a dictator, and we need somebody who is going to lay down the law. And he has these extensive writings about the way that he envisions it happening. And these are the people who are given the direction to the president and the vice president, and also Elon Musk, because this is a little bit deeper, but J.D. Vance was put up by the technocrats. It's the reason why at first he didn't like Trump. He spoke against Trump. He said how terrible of a president he was.
Yep.
And he wasn't even supposed to be on the list for potential vice president. But Elon Musk got him put on the list, and that's because he's in bed with these technocrats that believe we need a technical run dictatorship. They do not believe in democracy, and that's what it is that we're seeing now with this rise of authoritarianism.
All right, we'll take the final break of the evening and get ready for the final 15 minutes. More coming up, y'all.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris.
Where's your decency, Mr. President? Stop. Rescind this order. It's illegal and unconstitutional. And I said it. I'll say it again. It's immoral. You're creating the conditions that you claim you're solving.
That was California Governor Gavin Newsom as unrest continues across Los Angeles. Thousands of protesters speaking up against President Trump's recent ICE raids and sweeping immigration crackdown. Demonstrators decrying mass detentions in the Fashion District and Home Depot parking lots. Guard troops, 2,000 activated nationwide, and about 300 now on the ground in LA, and roughly 500 Marines stationed at 29 Palm Stand, ready to protect federal buildings. Protesters blocked the 101 freeway. The last time a president federalized the Guard without a governor's request was Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1966. Today's deployment aimed at quelling demonstrations for immigrant justice, not safeguarding constitutional protest. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Hey, WBOK, Ryan Richardson here, host of a new show called Conversations with Ryan Richardson. Join me every Saturday live from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. as we sit down and discuss mental health, disability, drug addiction, and everyday life issues. If you're ready to have a real conversation, let's get it started, New Orleans, every Saturday from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on WBOK and streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, Your police, your show. The Monitor's Mike.
Hey, New Orleans, look for important changes to your natural gas service. This summer, Delta Utilities takes over for Entergy Gas with a Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based approach to safe, clean, reliable natural gas. No interruptions or rate changes due to the transition, just dependable service and modernized technology to keep you running smoothly. Get to know us at deltautilities.com and stay tuned for more later this summer. Delta Utilities, focused on natural gas, committed to New Orleans.
If someone asks,
Yeah!
let them know you listen to WBOK on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks. Welcome back. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. What a day. What a day it's been. So, lastly but not least, I'm actually sitting here looking at all the folks that are out, and I'm also looking at this reporter as she's doing the reporting of what's happening with, the protest, and this cop is looking dead at her and shoots her with a rubber bullet. They don't even want the media out there.
Right. That's that IDF stuff.
What do you mean IDF?
The Israel Defense Forces. That's that type of technique where you then fire on the media. That's what they've been taught. This is what I'm saying. We get the most egregious forms of policing coming back to us because of what has been allowed to take place all over the world, and the system is folding in on us.
But we've always had that.
No, what's happening in Gaza is coming back to us. We haven't had what's happening in Gaza. That's coming back to us.
Black people have been protesting and have. Look, I can remember when they were protesting in Baton Rouge, and they were running from the state troopers that were out there trying to keep law and order. And these were peaceful protesters.
Yes.
Running up on people's porches and stuff, tackling them on side of the road. But I didn't see anybody else out there helping us.
What I'm telling you, G, is that black people have always had it bad. Come on now.
Okay.
I do black studies,
right,
of course.
You did
Of course, black people always have it bad. Of course, black people always have it bad.
Ron, you heard that?
Of course, black
Loud
people.
and clear.
Okay.
I said black people always have it bad. I agree with that. What I'm telling you is that it can get worse. It can get worse. That's what y'all not understanding. It's been bad for us. It can get worse. So when you just said, but they fired on the press, it's like, yeah, because you know why? They've been trained by the IDF, and the IDF is shooting the press.
But guess what?
So it can get worse, and it's about to get worse.
But what happened? What was the pushback when they arrested and they got the mayor of Newark, and he's a black man, and they arrested him for protesting?
Right, and that black woman who was pushed into people, and I think they might still be fighting against that. But I want to make sure that people understand. I am not saying to go out there because you love Latinos. That's not my point. My point is you should be against state violence. And that is what should make you take to the streets.
I agree with you.
You should be against state violence. That's what should get people out.
I agree with you on that. State violence.
Oh, was that another vote for me?
No, absolutely
did
not.
Did you hear that?
Absolutely
Did you
not.
Record it so
Ron,
we could play it back?
No.
I'm keeping quiet.
No.
Don't be intimidated by the regular host.
I keep the peace.
Listen, if other people agree with me, please flood the phone lines at the flood the polls at the last few minutes.
We about to go. Mm-hmm. No, but I want you to know I do agree with you about that fighting part. But I always think that we got to be able to take care of our own first. And that's part of the conversation we always have.
It's about to stop you from being able to take care of your own. If you gotta know when to take a stand. We can't say we're gonna wait until black people have perfect unity before we go and do something. That's ridiculous. We've been waiting for decades for that. And
perfect unity.
And what what this shows.
What do you think perfect unity is?
Right.
I think that perfect unity would be if we're all on the same page, if our dollar is spent inside of our communities and circulates amongst us, and that enriches us in a way where we all have the same mind. But we don't all have the same mind, just like the Latinos don't all have the same mind. So to me, it's not about that. It's about the fact that if you wait for that to take place, it'll be too late. You see what I'm saying? You won't be able to fend for your people because they're going to have the video camera recognition on every corner. They're going to be running you through a database. You'll be misidentified. They'll have ICE standing on every corner. And some places in New York, they'll have the police officers standing there with big old, weapons already. So, like, what does that look like once we allow the National Guard to come in and all of these forces to come together? We got to take a stand, and I just believe in that. I don't feel like I need to know that the person who is the victim of that is the perfect victim. I don't need that. I don't need to know that the people in Palestine are the perfect victims for me to say it's not right what these people are doing, starving them and bombing them to oblivion. And I don't want to see it come back home, because I know if they hate Palestinians, they also hate black people, possibly more. So all they need is the right way to spin a narrative, and it's going to be drones coming through our front doors that are targeted at black community centers. So because of the fact that it could be something like that,
right now, right?
But this is what I'm telling you, G, it can get worse. I'm not saying that there's no such thing. The first robot was deployed on a black man. The first robot bomb was deployed on a black man. But we are not seeing 24/7 drone strikes on black communities here. We've seen bombs getting dropped on Move in Philly, but that is not the same thing as what's happening in Gaza. And what I'm telling you is what's happening in Gaza, where there are no buildings standing, that can happen to Black America. It can always get worse. So you have to take a stance to stop it from getting worse. And I feel like that's my perspective. My perspective is about being against state violence in ways that help to protect our communities, especially before it comes to our front door. The way they got us into wars in the Middle East was that they told you got to fight terrorism abroad before you let it come inside of your country. So we said, okay, well, you could go to Afghanistan and Iraq, fight it over there, don't let it come over here. So why is it black people don't think like that? We think, it's got to be at your front door for you to fight it. No, fight it every place where it is so it won't come to your front door.
I guess that's why we have, let's see, Rosewood, Tulsa.
I just said move.
Hold on. Move.
I just said move. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they haven't bombed us. What I'm saying is it can always get worse. We could be Gaza around this mug.
But what I'm trying to tell you is I ain't worried about the Palestinians. I'm not worried about the Israelis. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about Billy Bob.
I'm worried about state-sanctioned violence, and Billy Bob is an ICE agent. That's what I'm telling you.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm worried about state violence, and Billy Bob is an ICE agent.
Television and all that is now trying to play like data police.
Right, that's my point.
Always been that.
That's my
Vigilantes.
point. That's my point. That's why we got to come up against them.
But I need to make sure that my community is taken care of first.
Right.
And I need everybody else to get in on that picture.
We
good.
I think we coming somewhere near synthesis, and I think you on my side actually.
I got the bill.
I think he's actually on my side, y'all.
All right, folks, that's gonna wrap things up for us. Dr. Shepherd, always good.
It's always good, G.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Is that the pun on the state-sanctioned violence?
You are the bomb.
The drone strike.
Wait a minute. There you go. All right, folks, that's going to wrap things up for us. We'll see you on tomorrow. Make sure you have a great rest of the day. Please be careful. And we'll be back on tomorrow at 4 o'clock right here on WBOK.
This is Arrington Gavin, and the Arrington Gavin Show is coming up next on WBOK.
For Night Train.